Pete Meitzner will remain county commissioner in the 1st District. He defeated Renee Duxler, the Democrat, by a margin of 53 to 46%. County Commission 4th District, an upset. Richard Ranzau will be stepping aside to allow room for Democratic challenger Lacey Cruz in the 4th District. And in the 5th District of the Sedgwick County Commission, Jim Howell maintained his seat, defeating challenger Jim Skelton by a margin of 55 to 43%. For a complete listing of election results both on the state and county level, you can go to the Sedgwick County website at sedgwickcounty.org. More news next hour. From the news desk, I'm Rick Everett. With sports now, here's Doug Downs.
The Wichita State Shockers lost their first home opener since 1995 last night as Louisiana Tech came into Koch Arena and beat the Shockers 71-58. Coach Greg Marshall can point to two things that ailed the Shockers last night.
We're smashed on the glass, minus 13 at home. Didn't make free throws. You shoot 42%, get out rebounded by 13. You're probably not going to win.
The Shockers now go on the road to face Providence this Friday. Kansas got a big win last night over a top 10 matchup between Michigan State. KU held on to win the game by 5, 92-87. From the sports desk, I'm Doug Downs.
This is Phil Martinez from Phil's Coins. Christmas rounds and 2018 Silver Proof sets are now available at Phil's Coins. Gifting items that will be forever remembered as being from you, and gifts with the opportunity to increase in value over time. Here at Phil's, we also have many hard-to-find birth year proof sets. And for your loved ones out of town or out of state, free shipping on orders over $100 and just $5 for shipping of lesser order. Phil's Coins, 9344 West Central.
Across the street, across the city, or across the nation, Get a Move On will take the stress out of moving for you.
That's owner Eric Himmler of Get a Move On of Wichita. The new customers that previous customers refer from Get a Move On come to Get a Move On with the bar already set.
We've already proven ourselves with one family in a move that they told their friends about us.
That's Get a Move On's Paul Hughes. When it comes to moving, whether it's
across the street, across the city, or across the nation, Get a Move On will take the stress out of moving for you.
Get a Move On, USA.com.
Autotech Service and Audio is a new and exciting service center that has joined the Autocraft family. We provide service like no other service centers in Wichita. We are home of the $24 oil change and provide you with not only the lowest prices in town, but also certified mechanics that care about the service and safety of your vehicle. We also have a state-of-the-art audio selection to fit everyone's needs. Stop by and see us today at 4411 West Central Avenue or call Doug at 942-0707. Come check us out today.
Hi, I'm Shannon Stiles, owner of Legacy Advisors, an all-state insurance company that will protect you and your family and provide you coverage that will fit your insurance needs. So when you go to bed at night, you can rest assured that we have your back. If something unfortunate should ever happen to you or your family, we are a local insurance company right here in Wichita, and we ask that you call us today at 316-773-9864, and we will provide you with a free quote. Come join the Legacy Advisors insurance family today at 316-773-9864. You'll be glad you did.
Plan ahead for a comfortable and safe winter by contacting Propane Central today. They'll conduct a free comprehensive check of your gas system and fill your tank and set you up with the payment and delivery options that meet your needs. Experience worry-free propane only from Propane Central. Give them a call at 316-744-6722. Again, that's 316-744-6722, or visit their website at propanecentral.com. Propane Central, the best value in propane.
Now back to the KQAM News Desk.
Special report, midterm elections. The Democrats have won back control of the House of Representatives, heading for a gain of more than 30 seats, but Republicans have added to their number in the Senate, retaining control there. 3 Senate races remain too close to call in Montana, Florida, and in Arizona, where correspondent Phil Mattingly is covering the race.
Martha McSally, this is for the open seat that Senator Jeff Flake, a Republican, decided to retire. Martha McSally, the Republican, currently 14,000 votes ahead over Kirsten Sinema, a House Democrat who's running, 75% reporting. Basically, this is looking like it's about baked. It's still outstanding. There's still going to be absentees counted as well. Obviously, a very close race right now, but most of the counties have come in.
Georgia's governor race has not been called, with Republican Brian Kemp narrowly leading Democratic challenger Stacey Abrams. There's a chance this one might need a runoff, or as Abrams called it last night, a do-over. Wall Street seems happy with the election results as stock futures rise this morning, pointing to a triple-digit gain for the Dow. I'm Michael Toscano.
Your local weather on KQAM. Brought to you by Propane Central. Residential, commercial. Here's your latest forecast on the Big Talker KQAM. For this morning, a chance of sprinkles, partly sunny, a high near 50. For tonight, a chance of rain after midnight, mixing with snow early tomorrow morning, mostly cloudy and 37. Chance of rain and snow tomorrow, changing to rain, then back to snow tomorrow night. I'm Amp Harrell, and that's your latest forecast on Wichita's big station, the Big Talker, AM 1480 and 102.5 FM KQAM.
Broadcasting from the Rusty Eck Ford Studios, this is the Big Talker, 1480 AM and 102.5 FM KQAM. It's time for Reason.
It doesn't matter who's campaigning for you. It's the message that you're portraying. And right now, the message from the Democrats is a losing campaign, is a losing message, because they don't have one other than we want to reverse everything that's happening right now, and we hate you because you're a big meanie head. This is going to be a Ronald Reagan-esque re-election campaign in the midterms, with Republicans winning across the board at state levels and at federal levels.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Folks from across the country, Bernie Sanders, the biggest socialist in the world, coming here to talk about trying to flip Kansas and take it away. We had the Huffington Post and MSNBC talking about it. Even had Ben and Jerry's, that liberal bastion of ice cream makers, to talk about it. But you wouldn't let them. Yeah, so thank you.
There it is. Welcome into the Voice of Reason. Congressman Ron Estes last night winning his victory over James Thompson, the progressive liberal socialist here in the 4th Congressional District. And what a night it was with elections across the board. Interesting. Very, very interesting. The things that make you go, some good news, some bad news, some interesting news. But you know what? As you know me, I'm always the eternal optimist. We have a fight that's up against us both at the federal level and at the local level and state levels. It's going to be an interesting one. We have a lot to get to today, but welcome into the Voice of Reason right here on the Big Talker KQAM, 1480 on the AM side, 102.5 on the FM side. Along with TV, we are live. We are up and going. We are rolling on TV as well tonight, this morning and this evening when it replays. KGPT TV channel 2610. Good morning. Welcome aboard. It's great to have you along today. 316-721-8255. 316-721-TALK. Well, let's start off with the not-so-good news as the governor's race does not go the way that we anticipate. 48-43, the win for Laura Kelly last night over Chris Kobach. 7% going to Greg Orman, 2% to Libertarian candidate Jeff Caldwell, and 1% going to Rick Cluse. Now, there are obviously not the best circumstance, not the best idealistic potential that we wanted, but there's still hope. There's still opportunity. Here's what I don't like. Is when there are some ideologues that just think, they throw their hands up in the air and it's the end of the world. There was a previous person on the air a couple years ago that used to do that same thing, that very thing. It's done, it's over, there's nothing we can do about it, this is crazy, it's going to be the worst thing in the world, it's going to be okay. We got this. Is it ideal? Absolutely not. But we can work through this. I don't know if you're aware or not, but we just gained, in the south central Kansas area, we just gained 3 upset seats, at least 3 seats in the south central Kansas area for the state legislature and the state House of Representatives, going from Democrat to Republican. Big races. One that I didn't expect. And you know what? We called the congressional seats. We knew this was going to happen. Steve Watkins pulling off a great victory last night in the 2nd Congressional District, 48-46. Steve Watkins over Paul Davis. That's a Republican victory right there. Now, Libertarians, you pulled in 6% of that vote. I hope you're proud, making it a very narrow race and potentially losing it for the Republican. I will go after Libertarians a little bit today because, I get a chance to, and I think it's absolutely ridiculous that you feel proud throwing your vote in and throwing the vote to somebody else potentially. It almost happened a couple of times last night. Steve Watkins, Republican, ends up winning in the 2nd District over Paul Davis, 48-46. It was within a 4,000 vote difference in that race. That's a big win. It was anticipated. It was expected that we would lose the 3rd Congressional District. Sharice Davids ends up winning over incumbent Republican Kevin Yoder in that one, 53-44. We called that right here on the show. We knew the 2nd District. We called it for Steve Watkins, and we had our concerns about the 3rd District. That was the one race that I was concerned about. And it happened. All right, so you know what? We let one seat go blue. Now, if we would have let half of our seats and let 2 seats go blue, we would have had an issue in Kansas. They say the blue wave happened last night. I call it maybe a blue trickle, maybe a blue ripple effect, maybe, if that. I don't know if you've seen this or not, and I'm going to share this on the social media. It's been floating around a little bit, but for the governor's race, this almost looks like the national map, the U.S. map, after a presidential race. And you remember how you usually see it with like tiny little pockets of blue across the nation when we barely squeak through a race where actually the popular vote goes to the Democrat by like 2 million votes, and everybody's all wigging out of the fact that, Hillary Clinton should have been it because we should get rid of the Electoral College and all this garbage. And you see the map, and it's all red except for little tiny pockets of blue. I want to show you something, and I will show it on social media. I don't know if I have a chance to be able to bring it up. Maybe on the TV screen I can find a way to do that at some point. But there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Make sure I counted that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8. 8 counties in the entire state of Kansas that went blue. Sedgwick County being one of them. Now, here's the fascinating part. We have all show to talk about this. We have a lot of great stuff to talk about today. Good news, bad news, and indifferent news. Ways that we counter, because remember, the war is never over. The fight is never over. We will continue on. I have a beef with some individuals today, and I will call them out on the radio because I really don't care today. I really don't. And I'm going to call them out for it because of the feistiness that I'm in today, number one. And number two, it's not a game. This is not a joke. This is not a game. It's our electoral process. It's extremely important, and ideas actually matter. Philosophy actually matters. And the way we operate at local governmental levels all the way up to federal governmental levels actually matter. So we will call out some individuals today, and I may, I don't know what the effects of that will be. I don't really care today, but we will get to that in a little bit. We do have Jim Howell, Sedgwick County Commissioner, coming on the program at 7:30. He did win his race last night in the County Commission race. Congratulations to him. It was a great victory, and we can continue on doing our weekly updates from him when it comes to the County Commission. Pete Meitzner as well, District number 1. I proudly cast my vote for him. Looking forward to him being on the County Commission, and we'll have some fun with that one as well. But 8 counties out of the entire state of Kansas went blue last night, and Laura Kelly won. Laura Kelly won out of 8. Does that say anything to you? We have how many counties in the state of Kansas? And 8 went blue. And the big one was Sedgwick County. Chris Kobach would have won the governorship if Sedgwick County would have gone red. He would have won it. He lost by officially, according to the Secretary of State's website, he lost by roughly about 50,000 votes. 46,000 votes. If Sedgwick County, and by the way, this is a reflection of what the statewide numbers look like for the governor's race. If you look at county by county, in Sedgwick County, it was about a perfect reflection of about the same election results for the governorship. Looking at Sedgwick County, according to the state Secretary of State's website, Chris Kobach, 48-43, the exact spit and image. We were exactly 50,000 votes shy in Sedgwick County to take Sedgwick County for Chris Kobach over Laura Kelly. That's the county that lost the race. We would have won. It was anticipated that the rest of them would have gone blue. Johnson County, Douglas County, Shawnee County, Riley County, Lyons County, Crawford County, even Harvey County, just north of us, went just slightly blue. So I guess technically 9. If Sedgwick County would have gone red, we would have won the race. So the question is, why did Sedgwick County go blue? Why did Sedgwick County go blue? Now, I've heard, and I have my speculations. I don't think it had anything to do with the Brownbacker attacks that they had on him. I really don't. I think that there were some energized Democrats in the Sedgwick County area. This is the largest populated city in the area with Wichita. This is the most populated county in the entire state with Sedgwick County. And I think that if you remember, even during the congressional race this year and last year, Sedgwick County is always the one where it's like, where's Wichita going to go? And with the riled up progressives that ended up electing Lacey Cruz as a socialist onto our county commission, that's going to be fun. I think that's what really swayed it. is that there were more riled up Democrats, at least in Sedgwick County and in Wichita, than there were Republicans. And I think that there were some holdouts that were so concerned over a one-issue agenda with something like marijuana that thought that that was the number one priority, more so than your sales tax rates, more so than redistricting of the congressional seats, more important than the fact that we're going to have 3 new Supreme Court justices on our Kansas Supreme Court in the next few years. More important than any of that, there were some that just felt that Chris Kobach wasn't the right candidate and either didn't vote or voted Laura Kelly with the Republican ticket across the board elsewhere. It's very interesting. The weird thing is that as we look at some of the other surrounding legislative seats in South Central Kansas and in Sedgwick County, we did very, very well. We won. The red wave happened in South Central Kansas. We won 3 major seats in our state legislature. And congratulations to them because we kicked butt in those races. One of them, Cheryl Helmer, it was a toss-up throughout the night, and she was behind for the majority of the night. Ed Trimmer, a big Democrat, the incumbent, been there for a long time. Cheryl Helmer ends up winning 51-49 last night, ends up winning by less than 100 votes. Big win for her. Congratulations, soon-to-be State Representative Cheryl Helmer in District Number 79. That is a big win for Republicans right there. That is huge. No one anticipated that. I mean, we were hoping, but no one could have guessed that one. Ron Howard, District Number 98 over Steve Crum, Democrat incumbent. A really big win on the south end of Sedgwick County. 52-48, a major win. That is outstanding. We ended up being able to pull that one off. We had some really great wins here in South Central Kansas, but then we went blue for the governor's race. Stephen Kelly, District Number 72, another big one. Tim Hodge, the Democrat incumbent, ends up losing by 1 percentage point, 51-50. Less than 100 vote, or just over 100 vote difference, about 112, 116 difference. Your vote mattered. Your vote counted. The red wave happened in our state legislative seats. We lost a few up in Shawnee County, up in Johnson County, up in the Kansas City area. We lost a few to Democrats. Who cares? Those were moderate Republicans that didn't matter. They voted predominantly with Democrats anyways. And I say that if you're going to have the shade of blue, you might as well be blue in the first place. We ended up winning last night. We really gained, honestly, between the conservatives that won in the primaries and the Republicans that won last night in the general in our state legislative seats. We gained about 10 solid conservative seats in our state legislature, which means now the next question is, do we have enough votes for us to start getting an agenda, ramming through a conservative agenda in our state legislature, having the governor, Laura Kelly, veto them, and then we have enough votes to override those vetoes? That's going to be the gridlock frustration that we're going to go through this year. We knew it would happen like that, potentially, if she became governor, and we're prepared for it now. The chessboard has been set. The game board has been set. Now we can move forward, and we can do something really fantastic here if we can get on board, if we can light the fire under our legislature, if we can get Republicans on board to do the right thing, to not play wishy-washy politics, to not coddle to the education board, to not coddle to the education special interests. And you know that's what's going to happen, as many of them have. But maybe we can get our budget under control. And when Laura Kelly vetoes it because we're just not spending enough money on education. By the way, is that going to be what we get to listen to for the next 4 years? I'm going to be really excited, and this is going to be me now, and I'm going to give you a very stern look. We're now prepared to understand that everything we do, we have to do with a supermajority to override her veto because she's going to veto just about everything that the legislature does. But we won last night in the state legislature. We won in the House of Representatives. We won in South Central Kansas. The big question is, why did we win with Republican legislators, but we lost with the governor's race in Sedgwick County? Everything else went red in the area. Almost everything went red in the area, except for the governor. Very strange to me. Your thoughts, 316-721-8255. We got some calls on the line. Big show. We may, by the way, get, it's not confirmed yet, But we are working on, now that it's official and he has won, we're trying to get Steve Watkins, Republican now, soon-to-be Congressman-elect Steve Watkins from the 2nd Congressional District. He may be joining the show at 8 o'clock today. We'd love to chat with him and say congratulations to him, as he had a really, really, really big race down up in the 2nd Congressional District. That is a huge victory. We'd also love to try and get maybe Congressman Ron Estes. I don't know. We'll see if we can reach out to them and do another congratulatory deal on the air today. It was an honor last night, by the way, to be able to host and MC the Sedgwick County Republican Election Party last night, as we were announcing these reports throughout the night, and we were seeing the really big wins coming in for the area, and a really, really great honor. I never thought I'd get a chance to do something like this, to be able to introduce our congressman onto the stage after a victory. That's crazy. I've never thought that would actually happen. So really honored to do that. That was really, really cool. I got to introduce him up on stage last night after the big win here in the 4th District right here. Got some calls on the line. We'll get to you as soon as we come back. Lots to get to today on The Voice of Reason. Stay tuned.
You're listening to The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Ag News from Mid-America Ag Network. I'm Craig Mead. Good morning. Hurricane Michael devastated 11 Florida counties, leaving millions of dollars in damages to the state's agriculture industry. J.B. Crawford is Florida Farm Bureau Public Relations Director, and he says the initial crop damage estimates, more than $150 million, will go up as the recovery continues to advance.
The initial estimates that we have place the crop losses to farmers and ranchers at a minimum of $158 million. But I can assure you that this figure is subject to change as more detailed information becomes available. The final tally will likely be substantially higher.
The University of Florida's Institute of Food and Agriculture Sciences estimates storm damages total $39 million for horticulture, $22 million for peanut crops, $9 million for vegetables and melons, and $5 million for field corn. Crawford says farmers are also facing rural infrastructure damages.
The Category 4 winds that hit the area on October 10th also destroyed much of the public service infrastructure in the area. Farm families and other residents have contended with storm-related failures in the power grid and telecommunications connections, along with major disruptions of roadways because of fallen trees and debris.
And Crawford says the recovery process will take a good deal of time.
Florida has been hit by 2 major storms now within the past 11 months. Recovery from major hurricanes just takes years. Florida Farm Bureau has established an emergency fund to aid farmers and ranchers in the throes of recovery. And for those who wish to donate, we've posted information at www.floridafarmbureau.org.
That's G.B. Crawford with Florida Farm Bureau. Ag News, Mid-America Ag Network.
A DUI can literally stop a person and their vehicle in its tracks. If you know someone who's gotten a nudge from the judge and their vehicle can't budge without an ignition interlock device, the next right move is Just Right Auto Repair. Just Right Auto Repair at 4312 West Central is Wichita's Intoxilock Ignition Interlock Installation Specialist. Intoxilock is the preferred device of choice among customers and monitoring authorities. Make your vehicle just right in the court's site. Just Right Auto Repair, your Intoxilock Ignition Interlock Installation Specialist.
My friend, you can find out why Pizza John's is the pizza of choice in Derby for over 44 years. Pizza John's in Derby, the original purveyors of round meals and flat snacks, is more than pizza. Lunches include salads, spaghetti, complete with garlic bread. And Pizza John's of Derby is the hoagie headquarters of South Central Kansas. Dine in or carry out. Delivery after 5 p.m. by simply calling 788-2011 or quick and easy online at pizzajohnderby.com. Pizza John's.
American Family Insurance offers you the protection you need to pursue your dreams, even if you take a couple of wrong turns. At American Family, we know your car is more than 4 wheels that get you from point A to point B. It's freedom to pursue the things important to you, which is why you want to make sure you have the proper protection. To learn more, get a quote. Contact local American Family agent Brad Woody at 265-6200.
American Family Insurance.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin, 53783.
There it is, Black Friday, and I know everybody has a sale.
But at Rusty Eck Ford,
our sales are always bigger.
Now through November 30th, get up to 30% off a new Ford Focus. Ford Escape, 25% off, or choose 0% for $72 and $1,000 back. F-150 XLTs up to 25% off, or our exclusive 0 for $72.
So come gobble up the savings at Rusty Egg Ford. If you don't come and see us today, we can't save you any money.
After 44 years as Shire Signs, Park City's Shire Signs is now Shire Graphics, with the highest quality of big truck and fleet logos, as well as vinyl decals and other vehicle graphics. Shire Graphics will still provide the highest quality of those items, and now is leading the area in digitally printed vehicle wraps. Superior quality digital vehicle graphics from Shire Graphics. Our niche is your need in vehicle graphics, from single vehicle to fleet. Shire Graphics at shiregraphics.com.
26 minutes past the hour. Welcome back into the Voice of Reason. Comments on YouTube, but you can check out the YouTube live feed as well, which we are up and rolling at youtube.com. Find the KQAM radio page, subscribe to it, or you can find the link right on social media on Facebook. Link to it. Leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you. But Brandon on there would really like to know why a New York left-wing extremist got so many endorsements from Republicans, quote-unquote, because they weren't Republicans. And that's been here. The biggest Achilles heel in the state of Kansas has not been the Democrats stopping Republicans, but Republicans, quote-unquote, stopping Republicans. Which is why it's such good news that we ended up getting so many conservatives into our state legislature that might be able to put a stop to the Laura Kelly agenda in the state. So we'll talk about all that and more. We'll talk about this throughout the entire show today, because there's a lot of ways that we can play this. Look, it's still not good that we didn't get the governorship, but at the same time, we have an opportunity to still do something productive here. We still can. We still have opportunity. Don't lose faith, my friends. We're always going to be moving in the right direction here in the state of Kansas. We just have to fight for it just a little bit harder and in a little bit different way. Let's go to the phones. The phones are lighting up right now. Line number 1. Good morning. What's your name?
This is Jim.
Good morning, Jim. How are you?
Well, I'm disappointed that you aren't the major media in the state of Kansas, because everybody else has reported the big lie. Every single thing that hit the news for the last 2 years has been Brownback's tax cuts caused the problem.
Right. And that's how the mainstream media is going to report it all day today, is that it was a reflection on Brownback, that it's going to be the taxes, and yeah.
And so the loss of Kobach, as you were saying, it comes down to Sedgwick County. You got to include the other counties too.
But it was expected. I mean, when you look at the precincts and look at the districts, I mean, it was expected for for some of those other counties to go. But Sedgwick County, which the Kobach team, by the way, thought was a stronghold for them, ended up falling, and it fell by a decent amount. And if we would have won Sedgwick County, he would have won the race.
It's because, I'll say it, the average stupid voter in the state of Kansas pays zero attention to the fact that the school tax cuts meant that they had to go slow on putting in the AstroTurf at the school and the Olympic-sized swimming pool and the and the air-conditioned school buses, so that the team could get all the way to Goodland for the football game or the basketball game.
Sure.
There were no cuts.
Oh, there's never been any cuts. You're right, Jim. I hate to cut you off. We got to take a bottom of the hour break, but you're right. There's been no cuts. We'll play some of the audio from Laura Kelly last night. We'll respond to some of that. You're right, but here's the thing: they fell for a lie. Whether it was because it was anti-Kobach or whether it was because they didn't like his stance on education and we thought that we were being mean to teachers and students. It was a lie, a bold-faced, flat-out lie, and we elected a liar, really, in the governorship. Now we have to stop the liar and put them in their place. We'll talk about that and more when we come back. More phone calls as well right here on The Voice of Reason.
Here's the latest from the KQAM News Center.
Special report, midterm elections. Democrats have flipped control of the House of Representatives, but Republicans added seats in the Senate and hold on to power there. Senate races in Montana and Arizona have not been called yet, and the Florida race between incumbent Democrat Bill Nelson and challenger Republican Rick Scott may go to an automatic recount, with Scott narrowly leading. No victory speech or concession in the Governor Georgia's race between Republican Brian Kemp and Democrat Stacey Abrams, who says the tabulation continues.
Votes remain to be counted. There are voices that were waiting to be heard. Across our state, folks are opening up the dreams of voters in absentee ballots, and we believe our chance for a stronger Georgia is just within reach.
There is a chance that this race could go to a runoff if neither Kemp nor Abrams breaks 50% plus one. Republicans won the governor's races in Ohio and Florida as the Democrats take Kansas, Michigan, and Illinois. I'm Michael Toscano.
If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, please call this toll-free number right now, 800-390-9528. That's 800-390-9528. By calling your addiction team, you're taking the first steps to recovery. The help you need could be one call away. 800-390-9528. Make the free call now. 800-390-9528. Your addiction team is a third-party advertiser for various treatment centers and placement networks. Individual results will vary. Visit youraddictionteam.com/terms for more information.
No one compliments you when their paycheck is correct, but make one mistake and you risk alienating your entire workforce. With Kronos, we make sure your payroll is done right the first time, from punch to paycheck. Embedded checklists, simplified workflows, a single source of truth. HR, payroll, talent, and timekeeping in one unified system, all with a proven implementation approach and simplified, transparent pricing. Learn more at kronos.com/payroll. Kronos, workforce innovation that works.
Kansas Mid-America Network News. Good Wednesday. The Sunflower State waking up to a Democratic governor-elect after Laura Kelly defeated Chris Kobach in the general election by a margin of 48 to 43%. In the U.S. House of Representatives, Roger Marshall will maintain his seat, as will 4th District Congressman Ron Estes. Also in U.S. House District 2, Steve Watkins maintaining his seat over Democratic challenger Paul Davis. An upset in U.S. House District 3 with Democratic challenger Sharice Davids defeating incumbent Kevin Yoder by a margin of 53 to 44%. In the race for Secretary of State, Scott Schwab was the victor there. Attorney General had Derek Schmidt with more votes than Democratic challenger Sarah Swain. Jake LaTurner is the state treasurer-elect, and Vicki Schmidt, the insurance commissioner-elect. Again, the margin of victory for Laura Kelly last night, 48 to 43% over Chris Kobach. Mid-America Network News.
When you think of pure bliss, do you think of the best night's sleep ever? Or is pure bliss the best night's sleep ever, night after night? You can have both. Right now at Derby Mattress through September 17th. You can buy a king-size pure Talalay Bliss latex mattress at a queen-size price. Or take 15% off all other Pure Talalay Bliss latex mattresses. Pure Talalay Bliss latex mattresses are the premier latex in the industry and are showcased at Derby Mattress, 105 South Baltimore in Derby.
Hi, I'm Bob.
And I'm Amanda with Continental Truck Accessories.
We know not every truck rolling down the road looks just like it did when it came off the assembly line.
That's why Continental Truck Accessories at 6701 South Broadway stands above and beyond our competition.
With truck accessories and applications custom created to fit your individual truck's needs.
Anybody can sell you cookie-cutter truck accessories.
If it's customized truck accessories you need, come see us at Continental Truck Accessories.
6701 South Broadway.
At Starseed, we realize every farmer and rancher has a passion for conservation, which is why we offer conservation seeds. This season, let Starseed assist with your CRP, buffers, waterways, roadside projects, and any wildlife project you have in mind. Starseed works closely with landowners, dealers, and government agencies to ensure the best quality seed for all of your conservation needs. Call Starseed today at 800-782-7311 or visit our website at gostarseed.com.
Here's your latest forecast on the Big Talker KQAM. For this morning, a chance of sprinkles, partly sunny, a high near 50. For tonight, a chance of rain after midnight, mixing with snow early tomorrow morning, mostly cloudy and 37. Chance of rain and snow tomorrow, changing to rain, then back to snow tomorrow night. I'm Amp Harrell, and that's your latest forecast on Wichita's big station, the Big Talker, AM 1480 and 102.5 FM KQAM.
Andy never shies away from a fight.
Just you try it. Oh, I'll try it. Just you try it. You'll feel it when I try it. I'd like to see you have at it. Would you now?
And now's your chance to jump in the ring.
Are you insane?
Give Andy a call at 316-721-8255. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Hey, welcome into the Voice of Reason. Great to have you today. It is a Wednesday, post-election Wednesday. Finally, after all the crazy shenanigans of the last few months, it is done. It is over. Now we reflect, we take a breath, and then we move forward for the legislative session, for the congressional session in Washington, D.C., on what's going to happen across the nation. Going to be very interesting. Very interesting. Again, not the blue wave. Not the blue wave. They said the blue wave was going to happen. It was maybe a blue ripple. Maybe a blue ripple. But at the same time, we ended up gaining in the Senate with the majority of 52 to 45 as of right now. The House, we did flip to 219 on the Democrats, 193 on the Republicans. So, not too bad. I mean, we lost it. That's not the good part, and which did surprise. I guess that was the big surprise to me. There were 3 surprises last night for myself, in a negative way. There were a few surprises on the positive side as well, but 3 negative surprises that happened for me last night. Number 1 was the House of Representatives falling. I figured that we had a big enough majority that they might gain some, but not enough to take the majority. Can you imagine having Nancy Pelosi as Speaker of the House again? Good golly, that right there. You know, come on. That right there. I mean, congrats to the victors that we had here in Kansas with Congressman Ron Estes and Roger Marshall and with Steve Watkins. Again, Steve Watkins, that was a huge win right there. The Kevin Yoder one was kind of anticipated. He was struggling from the get-go. I think that he had tried to play both sides too much. And again, if you're going to play like a Democrat, then you're going to might as well have a Democrat in the seat. You need to embrace republicanism and conservatism, and there's many cases where Kevin Yoder just didn't do that. And that's probably why he lost. And he tried to regain that by the end of it, but it was a day late and a dollar short, and it just didn't matter. So, I mean, there's one that was anticipated to some degree. It was, I would like to see a Republican in there over a Democrat, obviously. But if you're going to vote Democrat, then, you know, get a Democrat in. So it happened with our state legislature. There were a few seats up in the Kansas City area where we ended up going to Democrats, but they were Republican seats that were very moderate Republican seats that voted predominantly with Democrats anyways. So let them be Democrats. There was no skin off our back last night. We actually did very, very well in our state legislature. At the federal level, the House of Representatives, we did end up losing, and here's what's going to happen. There were many moderate House members, congressional seats, moderate Democrats that ended up winning last night because they were in Trump states. They were very conservative areas, and the only way they could have won was to actually play the moderate side. Yeah, we got a few more extremists in there. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez did end up getting in, ended up winning. So she will be there. There's a few of those extremists, but at the same time, there are some moderate Democrats as well. I think we have an opportunity, number one, to maybe get some semi-decent legislation out of the House of Representatives, even with a Democrat majority. But if the extremists, here's the big question, if the extremists take over the Democrats and they start running with the investigations and they try and go through the impeachment process, first off, it's not going to happen because the Senate has to do the investigation while the House does the impeachment. They can't do the impeachment without an investigation to prove that he's not legit in actually being in office. Now that we still have the majority in the Senate, that's not going to happen. So we're okay there. But will the House do anything? It could go one of two ways. We could try and get maybe a little bit of something through, or it's going to be stagnation for the next 2 years. We're going to be fighting back and forth between the two chambers of government. President Trump's going to be trying to negotiate and try and play the happy medium because the House is going to block what the Senate's doing. The Senate's going to block what the House is doing. We still have a few moderate Republicans in the Senate that's going to try and shake up the system there. So it's going to be 2 years of stagnation. In my prediction, the 2 years of stagnation is going to lead to another victory of President Trump in 2020 because we're going to be fed up and upset with what's going on in the House of Representatives. We have another chance in 2 years to reelect many of these members or not reelect many of these members. We can actually get more Republicans back in there again with the majority and then have 2 years of success 4 years of success, hopefully, in the second term of President Trump. So no skin off that back. Is it going to be a little more frustrating? Yeah, it's going to be more frustrating. And all the Republicans that are in Congress in the House of Representatives, I feel bad for you because you're going to have a really wonky fight going on right there. So that happened last night. In the governor's races, the Democrats ended up winning 7 governor seats across the nation, including Kansas. But we won some really key states that were big. We won Florida. Did you hear the attack heads that were going on to DeSantis and Gilliam, Republican DeSantis, who ended up winning 49-49, and it was a really close race, 49.7% to 49%, with a 6% on the Reform Party. A 0.6% on the Reform Party. Let me tell you something. Third party, you just lost the election for the Democrats. The Reform Party is predominantly a left-wing progressive group, and you got 0.6% in a race that was won by 0.7% of the votes. You just lost the race for the Democrat. Feel good about yourself? I guess that worked out in our favor on this one, but Ron DeSantis ended up winning in Florida. That is a huge one. This is the race where Gilliam, the Democrat, was an extreme socialist, was a Bernie Sandersite, and all he ran on was the fact that he was going to be the first black governor of Florida. And that's all he ran on. Now, I don't care what skin color he is, but that was the only thing that he ran on. And there were phone banks going out trying to play off that they were from the DeSantis campaign, from the Republican, saying that, don't elect that black guy in there. And they were trying to play this really racist scheme. It was dirty politics. It wasn't Ron DeSantis that was actually coming out with these type of ads. But in the end, they won. They won 4.05 million votes to 3.99 million votes. That's a really close race, but the Republican pulled it off. We did win in Ohio. First off, Ohio, you should be jumping up and down that John Kasich is no longer your governor. I'm just saying. But they did win Ohio Republican governor as well. Mike DeWine ended up winning over Richard Cordray. Other than that, we did lose 7 governorships in the nation, but we still have a majority of them, 25 Republican governorships to 22 Republican governorships. So we're still in the lead there. Is it a little more difficult? Sure, it's going to be a little more difficult. Colorado, that one was an easy win for Democrats. It went pretty much straight across the board, Democrats in our neighboring state on that one. And Jared Polis, the new governor of Colorado, a big-time Democrat, but really no change from John Hickenlooper, the former Democrat there, who wants to, by the way, start running for president now in 2020 because he thinks he's got a chance. New Mexico, that one did flip when it came to the governorship. Grisham ended up winning 56% of the vote to 43%. And Nevada ended up flipping. But here in our Mid-America region, Kansas was the big one. New Mexico was the big one. Really no shockers anywhere else. Ted Cruz won his race. A little bit slimmer margin than we would have liked, but he still won his race. Where's the big blue wave? Maybe a little bit of a blue ripple. That's about it. Let's get your thoughts on all this last night. 316-721-8255, line number 1. Good morning. What's your name?
Scott.
Hey, Scott. What's going on, sir?
Well, now you can take a breath. But now the thing about it is you had so many Republicans in office that were fighting what Donald Trump was trying to do, that even though he did succeed in a lot of stuff, he could have done more had it not been for Republicans. And they need to weed out the Republicans in the parties because those people are just obstructing everything and not allowing things to get done due to the fact that they're probably paid off by special interests. As far as locally, these Sedgwick County commissioners, all of them need to go. I just wish it wasn't Democrats to replace them, but they all need to go because there's too much corruption in there. And like I said, this investigation hasn't even started once they really start digging in on them.
Well, I think many of the ones that are under investigation really weren't up for election right now, and the 2 that weren't under investigation were up for election. So it was kind of a weird race to where even with that, it didn't have much to do. So you're right. We need some, and we're going to talk about the county commission in a little bit because I got a beef with what's going on there right now. But, congrats to Jim Howell for winning. Congrats to Pete Meitzner for winning, 2 Republicans that I think are going to continue to do well. Jim Howell, I think, has done well. Richard Ranzau, unfortunately, didn't win that one. Lacey Cruz, really? Lacey Cruz, a socialist that's gone to the Socialist Party, the Democratic Socialist Party events here in the area, brought in and was excited to be with Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Cortez, and she won over Richard Ranzau. That one hurt a little bit, and that might change a little bit of the makeup of the county commission, but we'll have to see what goes on.
Well, one of the things the county commission, if like I said, I don't know about the guys who are are being investigated going to keep their seat. But
Sure.
whoever gets on there, they need to recognize that this county needs jobs, and you can't miss any opportunity to provide them.
Sure. Well, that's a really great point. Scott, I love it. I appreciate the call, my friend, very much. And you're right. I mean, the Republicrats, as you like to put it, the rhinos, we're going to go rhino hunting. We still need to call some of these individuals out. Now, here's the good news. Again, the state legislature, we ended up going more conservative. Are there still some rhinos in there? Absolutely there are. But some of them actually lost yesterday because, again, if you're going to vote blue in red coding, you might as well just be in blue coding and vote blue. And that's what happened up in the northeastern corner of Kansas. But in our area here, listen, you did it. You did it. Whether it was hopefully part of this show that was contributing to that, whether it was you just being fired up, we won 3 or 4 really big seats from Democrats to not only Republicans, but conservative Republicans in the general election. We flipped 7 in the local South Central Kansas area from Rhino Republican to conservative Republican in the primaries just a few months ago. We did a really good job with that. So I'm really proud of our legislature. Now it's time for our legislature to get on board, to light the fire, to get pumped up, and to go in and start fighting and blocking what Governor Kelly's going to be doing. That's going to be our main objective. It's to not only pass legislation, but have enough votes to override her veto because you know it's going to come. I mean, she said it last night with what she wants to do.
When I said on the campaign trail that I'm running to be the education governor, I meant it. I will be. Public schools are the backbone of our communities. Our school teachers take on the most honorable of missions, educating our children. So let me be clear. We will no longer get by doing...
Oh, no. Did she just pull out the Obama? Let me be clear. Really? We have an Obama-ite in the governorship now? Let me be clear. Let me be clear.
The minimum. We will truly invest in our children's futures.
We
are going to properly fund our schools this year and next year and every year after that. And every year, every month, every day that I'm your governor.
All right, so lies, lies, and more lies. You know what that means? That they're going to be raising your taxes. Left and right, raising your taxes, sales tax, property tax, income tax. We're going to be properly funding education. We're going to reinvest in there because of the cuts that never happened, because that's an absolute lie and a bunch of BS. But, you know, guess what? Your tax rates are going to be trying to go up. Our legislature, hint, hint, wink, wink, Republicans and everybody that may be listening right now that it's an elected official, don't let that happen. You have the power of the purse. You have the majority. You're going to stop whatever she's trying to do. You're going to vote on cutting taxes, and you're going to override her vetoes when she stops those. You're not going to raise educational funding by a single penny because we're already spending way too much on there. That's what we have to do, and we can do it. We can do it if we choose to do so. Let's go back to the phones here. Line number 2. Good morning. What's your name?
Hello.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good, good. Hey, I'm with you this morning. I'm disappointed.
Sure.
Didn't turn out the way I wanted it to.
Sure.
But my hope is that President Trump has something bigger in store for Kobach, something he can do at a federal level that won't just affect Kansas, but will do good for this entire country.
You know, that's a good point. You're absolutely right. He's not going to fade away.
No, he's not going to let him walk away. He's a good man, and I think Trump believes in him, and I think we will see him in D.C.
Sure. You're right. You're absolutely right. Chris Kobach's going to have a bright future. He's going to have a lot more opportunities ahead. And with how close he is with the Trump administration, there will be a position for him somewhere. He's kind of dabbled into it a little bit before. Really wanted to try and do what was best for the state of Kansas. That didn't work out. So you know what? Yeah, he's going to go up there. He's going to do something productive. He's going to help the federal level while we kind of regroup down here at the statewide level again.
Exactly. I'm with you, and I'm not going to sit around and cry. I'm going to work because somebody's got to pay for all these Democrats that voted against us.
Well, get ready. Remember, you're the rich and elite now. You're going to have to pay more for your education finance here in Kansas.
I know. I hear you. Well, you have a good one.
You as well. Appreciate the phone call very much. 316-721-8255. Laura Kelly said it yesterday.
All right, here we go.
All right, here we go. That's going to be a fun couple of years. And it makes my job easy because I get to rip on her every day. So it makes my job easy. Here's what we do, though. Instead of just complaining and whining, we're going to strategize about how we defeat her agenda, how we use the Republican majority in our legislature, and how we advance our agenda still, even with her as governor. You're right. Chris Kobach is going to be advancing, doing something else. He's going to have an opportunity to go somewhere else. He's going to have an opportunity to still be productive and help out the conservative agenda. He can do it. We just have to do our part now here on the local level. Again, it's just very strange. Sedgwick County, the one swing county that would have won him the election, we end up falling in Sedgwick County. That's the only thing. There were 3 counties, by the way, Sherman, Grove, and Ness. Gove County, not Grove County, Gove County and Ness on the western part of the state that ended up going white to Greg Orman. Could that have affected something? A little bit. He got 7% of the vote, and I don't think it would have been enough to completely switch the election completely, but it definitely would have helped if it would have gone to somebody else like a Republican in that sense. I mean, Greg Orman won 66,000 votes. Would that have affected something? Not really, because the majority, I think, would have gone to Laura Kelly anyways. Maybe they were Republicans that just didn't like it. I don't really know. Kind of interesting numbers there. We can break that down a little bit later as well. Phones are still lit up. Stay here. We got to take a break, wrapping up hour number 1. We'll get to you as soon as we come back before hour number 2 starts. Lots to get to today, lots to break down, and what our next step is as conservatives here in the state of Kansas. Stay here.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Market information, Mid-America Ag Network. Tuesday was a choppy trading day as far as our futures markets are concerned. We saw some positive moves for Kansas City wheat. Corn and soybeans didn't fare so well over the course of the day. December corn down 3/4 at 3.73 1/4. March down 1/2 cent at 3.85 1/4. Each of the later months similarly lower. November soybeans down 1 at 8.72. January beans down 1 1/2 at 8.84 1/4. We were mixed in the products. December soybean meal 80 cents higher at 3.11.40. January was up 70 cents at 3.12.80. While December soy oil was unchanged at 27.90. January was down a point at 28.11. So mixed numbers in the soy complex. And as we pointed out, Kansas City wheat did well. December was up 3 1/4 at 5.08, and March KC wheat up 3 1/2 at 5.31 1/4. But some choppy trade over the course of the day for our grains and soybeans. Same story in livestock. Hogs finished lower, but cattle were mixed. December live cattle up a dime at 115.42. February live cattle down 25 at 120.40. The later months were mixed. Feeder cattle sharply mixed. November feeders up 47 at 149.97. January was up 17 at 146.60. Again, later months tracking mostly lower, but some mixed numbers in the cattle complex. Hogs were down, sharply down. December hogs at 54.10, down $3. February hogs down 272 at 61.40. So it was not a good day for hogs, and questionable on cattle. As far as cotton is concerned, a tough day there. December cotton finished the day at 77.43, down 144. March cotton was down 107 at 79.27. So a tough day for cotton. Crude oil took a beating too. Late in the afternoon on Tuesday, December crude down 96 cents at 62.14. Markets from Mid-America Ag Network.
The following alert is from the AARP Fraud Watch Network.
Attention listeners, have you received your new Medicare card yet? Medicare is sending out new and safer cards that no longer have your Social Security number on them. But beware of callers claiming to be from Medicare who say you need to pay for your card. You need to verify your Social Security number, or you have a balance on your old card and they need your banking information to transfer it to you. These are all scams. All you need to do is wait for your free card to come in the mail. To learn how to protect yourself from frauds and scams, visit aarp.org/fraudwatchnetwork.
Before we know it, we'll be scraping windshields and working on year-end things. What are you wearing? Life gets away from us sometimes, like the annual eye exam that your insurance company all but pays for. Waring and Fiegel Optometry at 21st and Tyler is a full-scope professional optometry practice. At Waring and Fiegel Optometry, new patients are welcome. Don't let the benefits of your insurance, let alone the benefits of healthy vision, get away from you. Waring and Fiegel Optometry, 21st and Tyler.
Celebrate the season with great deals on the world's best-selling off-road lineup during the Polaris Holiday Sales Event. Get low financing and rebates up to $2,000 on hardworking Rangers, unstoppable sportsmen, versatile Generals, and high-performance racers. See Wichita Tractor today or go online to wichitatractor.com. Offers valid in U.S. through 12/31 of 18, subject to credit approval. Rebates and financing vary by model and GRC dealer for details. Always wear a helmet and never drink and ride.
Two things that keep customers coming back and referring their friends to Lee Reed Engraving are superior quality and unparalleled customer service. The time to recognize team members through annual awards or employee contributions this year is right around the corner. Lee Reed Engraving specializes in the personalization of awards and recognition items for businesses, schools, churches, and professional organizations of all types. You can learn more at LeeReedEngraving.com. Lee Reed Engraving, 3417 West Central. A DUI can literally stop a person and their vehicle in its tracks. If you know someone who's gotten a nudge from the judge and their vehicle can't budge without an ignition interlock device, the next right move is Just Right Auto Repair. Just Right Auto Repair at 4312 West Central is Wichita's Intoxilock Ignition Interlock Installation Specialist. Intoxilock is the preferred device of choice among customers and monitoring authorities. Make your vehicle just right in the Quartz site. Just Right Auto Repair, your Intoxilock Ignition Interlock Installation Specialist.
4 minutes to the top of the hour. Welcome back into The Voice of Reason. We got a lot to get to today. We have some more of the breakdown. What's our next step? I got an idea how we can stop Laura Kelly. I have an idea. I have a theory, and we can implement it. We can make it happen. We're going to be having many state legislators on the show in the next month or so to work on and strategize. Don't worry. Again, the fight's not over. You always take a hit. You win some, you lose some, and then you move forward. And the fact that we won really, look, I can't stress enough, we won big last night in our state legislature. That's huge. So we can use that, we can utilize that, and we can move forward in a positive way. And yeah, you know what? Laura Kelly's in the governorship, as she said last night.
All right, here we go.
All right, here we go. It's going to be a crazy ride, and we're going to have an opportunity to stop her every step of the way. She's not going to have the chance to use her power the way that she thinks she will, the way that she wants to increase our taxes and spending. Look, she told us right on the campaign trail. She told us right on the campaign trail that she wanted to lower the sales tax, that she wanted to lower property taxes, that she blamed the Trump or the Brownback experiment on the high property taxes. So you know what? You better lower them. If it was a result of the Brownback tax experiment, then you better lower the property taxes and make everybody happy, right? It's not going to happen. You're not going to do it. But we're going to try it our own way anyways. We're going to try it. We're going to do what's best for us. Then we had Congressman Estes last night.
In 2018, Congress and President Trump cut 12 regulations for every one that was put in place and ultimately saved American citizens, American businesses and individuals and consumers $23 billion off of that. And thanks to the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, the average American family's going to keep $2,100 more in their pocket than they would before.
You know what? We did some really great things at the federal level last year, and this year really. We're going to continue to do great things if we can get on board and we can get together and actually make something happen. With the flip in the House, might be a little bit more difficult. They're going to try and do a whole bunch of investigations, stall and block, because they're going to waste their time. They're not going to do their job, and they're going to do what they want to do because that's the priority of Democrats. But we have a majority in the Senate still, and we can try and at least try to get some things done. Lots of that and more coming up in hour number 2. Got some phone calls on the line as well. Don't go anywhere. We'll start off hour number 2 with phone calls. Your thoughts on the race here in Kansas, federally, locally, doesn't matter. We want to get your feed on all of this right here on The Voice of Reason. Stay here.
Guns, guns, guns. It's gun show time. Don't miss the big gun and knife show and sale Saturday and Sunday, November 10th and 11th at Wichita's Century 2 Expo Hall. Buy, sell, trade. Thousands of new and used rifles, shotguns, handguns, knives, wholesale ammunition, holsters, reloading supplies, and so much more. Bring in your old gun collections. Buyers on hand paying up to $10,000 for rare collections. Don't miss the big gun and knife show at Century 2 in Wichita. Saturday, November 10th, 9 to 5. Sunday, November 11th, 9 to 3.
There it is, Black Friday, and I know everybody has a sale. But at Rusty Eck Ford, our sales are always bigger. Now through November 30th, get up to 30% off a new Ford Focus. Ford Escape, 25% off, or choose 0% for $72 and $1,000 back. F-150 XLTs up to 25% off, or our exclusive 0 for $72. So come gobble up the savings at Rusty Eck Ford. If you don't come and see us today, we can't save you any money.
Broadcasting from the Rusty Eck Ford Studios. Rusty Eck Ford, the price you need and the service you deserve. This is the Big Talker, 102.5 FM and 1480 AM, KQAM, Wichita proud. It's time for your latest news from the KQAM News Center. Brought to you by Augusta Flight Center. Get your dream of learning to fly off the ground at iflyaugusta.com.
Good Wednesday morning. If you're just waking up, you're waking up to a Democratic governor-elect in the Sunflower State. Laura Kelly handily defeated Republican Chris Kobach by a margin of 48 to 43% statewide. Here in the 4th Congressional District, Ron Estes maintained his seat over Democratic challenger James Thompson by a margin of 60 to 40%. In Sedgwick County Commission races yesterday in the 1st District, Pete Meitzner maintained his seat, defeating Democratic challenger Renee Duxler, as did Jim Howell in the 5th District, winning by a margin of 55 to 43% over independent challenger Jim Skelton. Sedgwick County Commission 4th District saw an upset, with Democratic challenger Lacey Cruz defeating incumbent Republican Richard Ranzau. For a complete listing of Sedgwick County election results, you can go to sedgwickcounty.org. The Sedgwick County Sheriff's Office says it's investigating after Cruz pulled a body from a sand pit yesterday afternoon. Sedgwick County Sheriff Captain Brad Hoke says it was a passerby who spotted the body at the sand pit and reported the discovery around 4:30 yesterday afternoon near 63rd Street South and Broadway. Authorities couldn't say how long the body had been there, and the investigation is ongoing. Cake meteorologist Frank Waugh says it's going to be cold the next couple days.
Mid to upper 30s by tomorrow morning. We're cloudy, we're cold to start you off on Thursday. And Thursday is when we can see that rain-snow mixture falling. Some very minor accumulation across south central Kansas, not out of the question. 38 the high Thursday, and that's also going to be the morning low. So really almost no movement in temperatures on Thursday. 38 again on Friday despite some sun. We'll be back in the mid-40s for the weekend. At least a slight chance of rain on Sunday.
Area forecasters are saying snowfall, if any, in south central Kansas will be confined mainly to accumulation in grassy areas or places like patio furniture. I'm Rick Everett. Now sports.
Following last night's 71-58 loss to Louisiana Tech in the home opener, Coach Greg Marshall did say there were some positives out of this young Shocker team, but getting tougher is a must.
We're going to have to just get tougher and rebound and finish a possession. Too many offensive rebounds for them with 10, and we only had 8, so that's the story of the game, in my opinion.
The Kansas Jayhawks led by as many as 17 late in the game over a top 10 matchup with Michigan State. The Jayhawks held on to win the game by 5, 92-87. From the sports desk, I'm Doug Downs.
You all know Paul at Riverside Cafe, and I was by and saw a sign that said pick any 4 for $4 for breakfast. I said, Paul, that's a heck of a deal. He said, well, yes, it is. Pick any 4. Sausage link, hash brown, slice of bacon, 3 silver dollar pancakes, quarter biscuit with gravy, a sausage patty, slice of buttered toast, any 4 for only $4. It is kind of an early bird special from 6 to 9 every day. The pick 4 for $4 at Riverside Cafe.
The holidays bring friends and family together to tables filled with delicious food. Make the centerpiece of your holiday table smoked and cured meats from Yoder Meats. Ring in the holidays with our custom smoked turkeys, cured hams, or specialty meats like lamb, custom cut for your gathering. Stop by one of our 4 stores in Yoder or Wichita today and let our team help you find the right cut of meat to impress your holiday guests. From our holiday table to yours, taste the old-fashioned flavor at Yoder Meats.
Old Man Winter is knocking, and soon it could be as cold in your house as it is outside from the air coming through your windows. Now's the time to call Myers Exterior Products for your free estimate on new replacement windows. Did you know 10 to 25% of your heat can be lost out of your old windows? Don't let that happen to you this winter. Call 944-1024.
Myers Exterior Products. Call 944-1024. Call 944-1024.
The latest news from the Big Talker, KQAM.
Special report, midterm elections. Democrats have flipped control of the House of Representatives, but Republicans added seats in the Senate and hold on to power there. Senate races in Montana and Arizona have not been called yet, and the Florida race between incumbent Democrat Bill Nelson and challenger Republican Rick Scott may go to an automatic recount, with Scott narrowly leading. No victory speech or concession in the Governor Georgia's race between Republican Brian Kemp and Democrat Stacey Abrams, who says the tabulation continues.
Votes remain to be counted. There are voices that were waiting to be heard. Across our state, folks are opening up the dreams of voters in absentee ballots, and we believe our chance for a stronger Georgia is just within reach.
There is a chance that this race could go to a runoff if neither Kemp nor Abrams breaks 50% plus one. Republicans won the governor's races in Ohio and Florida as the Democrats take Kansas, Michigan, and Illinois. I'm Michael Toscano.
Your local weather on KQAM. Brought to you by Hatman Jacks. Amazing headwear for women and men. At the Clock Tower in Delano, Hatman Jacks.
Here's your latest forecast on the Big Talker KQAM. For this morning, a chance of sprinkles, partly sunny, a high near 50. For tonight, a chance of rain after midnight, mixing with snow early tomorrow morning, mostly cloudy and 37. Chance of rain and snow tomorrow, changing to rain, then back to snow tomorrow night. I'm Amp Harrell, and that's your latest forecast on Wichita's big station, the Big Talker, AM 1480 and 102.5 FM KQAM.
At 7:06, it's currently 43 degrees.
It's time for Reason.
It doesn't matter who's campaigning for you. It's the message that you're portraying. And right now, the message from the Democrats is a losing campaign, is a losing message, because they don't have one other than we want to reverse everything that's happening right now, and we hate you because you're a big meanie head. This is going to be a Ronald Reagan-esque re-election campaign in the midterms, with Republicans winning across the board at state levels and at federal levels.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Of Reason, hour number 2 of the Voice of Reason, broadcasting live out of the heart of the nation here in Wichita, Kansas, on the Big Talker, 1480 on the AM side, 102.5 on the FM side, KQAM. We are simulcasting on TV this morning, KGPT TV, channel 2610. Good morning, welcome aboard. It's great to have you along today for the ride on a post-election Wednesday, the pre-Friday celebration, and what an interesting night it was, eh? What a weird, what an odd, what an interesting night. Welcome in. 316-721-8255, 316-721-TALK. We do have YouTube Live up and rolling as well. As a lot of people jumping on there, we'd love to see you there, youtube.com. You can find KQAM Radio and see the subscription. You can subscribe, like the feed, leave a comment, say good morning, share it onto your own social media with the YouTube link. Whatever you want to do, we'd love that very, very much as we continue on. And as you know, good news, bad news last night. Interesting makeup. And again, it wasn't the blue wave. Maybe a little bit of a blue ripple. Maybe. But that's putting it very interestingly. And as Laura Kelly said last night.
All right, here we go.
All right, here we go. It's going to be an interesting race for the legislative seats. And as we see what we can do to stop the Laura Kelly agenda, advance conservatism. We won last night really, really, really big in our state legislative seats. We lost the governorship, unfortunately, but you know what? Between those two, I think we can still make something happen. When it came to the congressional seats, it's just as we called it. It's like we know stuff here on this show. It's like we know stuff. What did we say? What was my prediction? That Steve Watkins would win the 2nd congressional district, which he did. 48-46 by about a 4,000 vote margin, but he did it. And that Kevin Yoder would struggle and potentially lose that seat. And if we were going to lose any seat in Congress, it would be Kevin Yoder. But I called Steve Watkins to win. It's like we know stuff here. And that's what happened. Sharice Davids ended up winning over Kevin Yoder 53-44 in that race, with 3% going to the Libertarian. But we have one Democrat congressional seat now. Congressman Ron Estes ends up winning 60-40 last night. Roger Marshall wins 68-32. And the rest of that, outside of that, I mean, we won just about every other statewide race. Scott Schwab, Secretary of State, 53-44. Derek Schmidt, 59-41. Jake LaTurner, 58-42. Vicki Schmidt for insurance commissioner, 63-37. And the one Kansas State Senate race that we had, Richard Hildebrand ended up winning 54-40, with 6% going to Libertarian. We won last night, not to mention not just the Senate race or the other statewide races other than the governor's race. We won big in our legislative seats. There were 3 just in the south central Kansas area where we won major. We flipped Democrat seats to Republican seats, and we have great representation. We did something last night that was really special because of your votes, because of you turning out and what you did. We may have lost the governor's race, and coincidentally, it was Sedgwick County that lost the governor's race. If Chris Kobach would have won Sedgwick County, we would have won the governor's race. That's how close this race was. There were 9 counties in the entire state. And again, remember these maps that you see for the presidential races? You see the entire country mapped with red, and then you see the tiny little blue spots around there. That's what Kansas looks like. 7 deep blue districts, 1 light blue district that went for Laura Kelly, and she ends up winning, where every other county in the state went red, except for 3 that went to Greg Orman. Well done on that one. Do you feel very proud of yourself? But every other county went red. 8 districts, or 8 counties in Kansas went to Laura Kelly. She ends up winning Sedgwick County, Lyon County, Riley, Shawnee, Douglas, Johnson, Wyandotte County, and Crawford County. Those are the only ones that went blue. That's it. And she won. If Sedgwick County would have went to Kobach, he lost by 50,000 votes in Sedgwick County. He lost by 50,000 votes statewide. That's the one that they were banking on. And if they would have won it, they would have won the governorship. But outside of that one here in Sedgwick County, for whatever reason, which I have my suspicions, and we can talk about those later, outside of that, we won here big time. Again, District number 72, Stephen Kelly, Republican, by 1%, by 116 votes. Or I'm sorry, by less than 100 votes, by about 80 votes-ish, ends up beating incumbent Democrat Tim Hodge. We just flipped a Democrat seat, a blue seat, to a red seat. Cheryl Helmer was behind all night last night in District number 79 to Ed Trimmer. Ed Trimmer, a big Democrat name. A big Democrat name in our state legislature that's been there for a really long time, incumbent, loses last night to Cheryl Helmer, new Republican conservative. She's been on the show. 51-49. Ended up winning last night. Big change. Ron Howard in District number 98 over Steve Crum. This is all just the South Central Kansas area, Sedgwick County and the surrounding areas here. Steve Crum, Democrat, incumbent, been there for a while. Ron Howard wins 52-48. And those are 3 right there that just went from blue to red. Not to mention the ones that we already had prior, where we ended up gaining 8 conservative seats statewide in the primary races in August, which means that we just essentially won 10 to 12 seats. 10 to 12 seats throughout whatever happened in the rest of the state, from Democrat and progressive to conservatives. I talked to State Senator Ty Masterson last night at the County Republican Election Party, and he had mentioned that they just gained potentially 10 new seats in the Truth Caucus in the state, which means that we have an opportunity to not only help block what Laura Kelly wants to do, but we almost have an opportunity to have maybe enough votes to maybe override her vetoes when she blocks, when we try and limit the spending on education, when we try and lower the sales tax. Because even though she campaigned on it and she said that the property tax rates were so high because of the Brownback experiment and that she was going to lower sales tax rates, she's not going to do it. And here's my strategy. All the Republicans that are listening right now, legislative leaders, here's what you do. Day number 1 in the 2019 legislative session, day number 1, you go in and you draft the bill that says we will lower sales tax on food to 0%. You will get rid of sales tax on food in the state of Kansas. You get it to the governor's desk by the first week. And you say, you know what? Here's your campaign promise saying that you were going to lower sales tax. Lower sales tax. She said in her campaign victory speech last night that she wanted to compromise, that she wanted bipartisanship, that she wanted to work together, and that there was not going to be any more hate. Because, of course, she said that Chris Kobach was hateful and divisive and yada, yada, yada. And she was going to be unifying. All right, if you're going to be unifying, 0% sales tax on food. Help the poor people trying to actually purchase food. Help them. Help the middle class being able to purchase food. 0 sales tax on food. First day, legislative session, get that through, get it to the governor's desk. And if she's true to her word, she'll sign it. If not, she'll veto it, and we can begin to expose her. It was a tough race against Kobach. Every 8 years, we switched back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We didn't break that trend, and Sedgwick County fell. Those are the only crazy things. You can blame it on the campaign. You can blame it on our activism. You can blame it on the energized Democrats, maybe in Wichita being the largest city in the area, the largest populated area in Kansas. Whatever it is, I think that we're going to be in good shape. 316-721-8255. It's still going to be tough. It's still going to be hard, but we can and we will prevail, and we will be able to still promote conservative principles in our state legislature. It's going to be more tough, and the chessboard has kind of changed a little bit, but we can adapt. Conservatives better adapt, or else we're going to lose. Let's go to the phones, get your thoughts on all this, what happened last night. Am I just blowing smoke? Am I too optimistic? Or actually, are we on the good track here to stop the Laura Kelly agenda in the state? Your thoughts, 316-721-8255, line and number 1. Good morning. What's your name?
Hey, Andy, it's Deacon.
Deacon, what's going on, sir?
I am not loving it today.
Again, does it hurt that we lost the governorship? Yeah, but we're going to be okay.
Well, all I keep thinking about is, that deal you posted about what Kobach was going to be able to do if he got elected. Now Laura Kelly's going to have the opportunity to do every one of them things. More liberal judges.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to know how many Republicans stayed home last night because Chris Kobach wasn't their ideal.
Because Chris Kobach was a meaniehead. Now, here's the thing, though, again. Is it going to be bad that we're going to have 3 more liberal judges on the Kansas Supreme Court throughout the next couple of years? Yes. At the same time, Chris Kobach would have had to choose between crappy option A, B, and C anyways, because, again, we still have not changed the process of nominating them. The Bar Association still nominates the Supreme Court justices. They nominate 3 candidates, and the governor chooses one. If all 3 candidates are poor and they have a certain agenda, there's nothing the governor can do about that. So before, I guess, on the light side here is the governor's going to be irrelevant in that choice because it's going to be the Bar Association. Let's work on the legislature that's a conservative majority right now in both chambers to call them up and say, hey, it's time we change the process of nominating Supreme Court justices in Kansas. Then we can actually have good options go to the governor, and the governor can actually choose someone that's actually fit and going to be conservative-minded on the courts.
I absolutely agree. The state should, not get Supreme Court judges like the Supreme Court gets justices in, the national level.
Right.
Second thing, with the whole state being really bright red except for these ugly blue spots.
Yes.
How about if we do a kind of statewide electoral college where each county gets a certain number of votes? Kind of like the national level, so that way
So that way 8 counties don't dictate exactly who we're going to get?
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a good idea. And that's something I think we should think about. You're right. I mean, 8 counties decided our governor last night. And they were the more populated ones. Sedgwick County, Johnson County, Douglas County, and Wyandotte County, and Shawnee. Those are the largest populated counties in the state, and those are the ones that chose the governor last night.
Exactly. I look at the map of Kansas, and I'm just going, well, if we just give this city, go ahead and give the rest of that city on over there to Missouri, we won't have to worry about that one anymore.
You're right. And I mean, and Deacon, I got to take a break here. Congressman, actually, Ron Estes is going to be calling in here in just a minute. But here's the crazy thing. It wasn't even the independents, as much as that potentially could have affected the race last night. It wasn't even the independents. Finney County in the western part of the state near Garden City, where John Dahl, the lieutenant governor candidate with Greg Orman, was from, and the western part of the state that was very heavy on Greg Orman didn't even go towards Greg Orman. It went Republican to Chris Kobach. Kobach won the western part of the state where they said there was no way he could win because he was so anti-illegal immigrant, and there's so many Hispanics in that area that there's no way Kobach would have won that area. He still won it. 8 counties in the state. The most populated ones chose our governor last night. That's something to think about. Let's take a break. When we come back, Congressman Ron Estes is going to be joining us on his victory last night over James Thompson here in the 4th Congressional District. This is The Voice of Reason. Stay here.
You're listening to The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Ag News from Mid-America Ag Network. I'm Craig Mead. A leading senator expects the lame duck Congress to punt on passing a new farm bill this year, possibly write a different one next year. Iowa Republican Chuck Grassley told farm broadcasters ahead of Tuesday's election outcome that there's a good chance farm bill talks, already stalemated over a contentious House food stamp reform, won't conclude in a lame duck session.
I would guess, unless the House very quickly backs down on food stamps, that we're going to have a one-year extension and debate a new farm bill next year.
And as far as the House GOP food stamp work requirement?
If the House of Representatives want a 5-year farm bill, they better fish or cut bait and give up on that.
It's more likely in a split Congress. Grassley also complained that his languishing years-long bid for farm manager payment limits has gone nowhere under House Ag Chair Mike Conway.
Conway, in his bill that passed the House of Representatives, he did away with all restrictions on the amount of money or income that a farmer can have to get it. So there were very few restrictions anyway, and he did away with what restrictions are in the law right now.
But not everyone agrees with Grassley's prediction of a one-year Farm Bill extension. American Farm Bureau's Andrew Walmsley was recently more upbeat that negotiations and staff understand the importance of getting a farm bill done this year and continue to signal that extension talk isn't helpful. Walmsley says waiting for next year doesn't make getting a farm bill done, quote, any easier. In other news, the Purdue University CME Group Ag Economy Barometer took a big jump up in October. The October index came in at 136, which was 22 points higher than the September index, and sits at a number close to its level back in 2017. Ag News from Mid-America Ag Network.
At Starseed, we're dedicated to providing our customers premium quality products and the sudden service they deserve. We've offered a diverse lineup of high-yielding seed for decades. We pride ourselves on flexibility, promptness, and superior products. Starseed is the one stop for all of your seed needs. Don't forget to ask about our custom blend packages. Call Starseed today at 800-782-7311 or visit our website at gostarseed.com.
Jewelry Savers is rapidly approaching 50 years, serving the Wichita and South Central Kansas area. Jewelry Savers takes pride in supplying the different generations of all their sparkle needs, whether it's the best in custom jewelry designs, a collection of some of Kansas' most sought-after bridal jewelry, or quality repairs that you know are done right, in many cases with next-day turnaround. It's all the sparkle you'll ever need. Jewelry Savers at K96 and Greenwich Road.
Good morning. This is Kerry at the El Dorado Livestock Auction. We'll have a good run of calves and feeders this week. There'll probably be around 1,500 to 2,000 head of cattle. A couple of our featured consignments this week will be 150 head of mostly black steer and heifer calves. That'll be weighing 575 to 650. We'll also have a group of 100 mostly black steer and heifers that'll be weighing 5 to 5.5. We'll also have a group of 50 steer and heifer calves that'll weigh around 650. And then some of our feeders will have 185 head of mixed steers weighing 850 to 9, and a group of 65 black steers weighing 850. You can see a full list of all of our consignments this week on our website, which is www.eldoradolivestock.com. And if you'd have any consignments you'd like to give us or have any questions about any of our consignments, feel free to give us a call at 316-320-3212.
23 minutes past the hour. Deacon, I know the last caller and everybody that's kind of like from last night. Don't worry. You know, it's honestly not as bad as it seems right now. Because would we have liked to seen the governorship go red? Absolutely. But at the same time, with the wins that we did in the legislature and the state legislature, we're going to be able to counter this decently, I think. If the legislature does what they need to do, which is up to you and I to hold them accountable and put the fire under their feet to do the right thing. So don't worry. Let's regroup a little bit and then get a look. The board game just got changed a little bit. The chessboard moved around a little bit, and we just have to play from where it's at. We have to adapt a little bit, but it's really not going to be that bad. It's going to be okay. Obviously, not as good as what it potentially could have been with Governor Chris Kobach, but that's all right. On the phone with us, we got a few minutes before the bottom of the hour, and I'm excited to have him on the program. I got to say, I never thought that I'd have a cool opportunity to be able to introduce a congressman on stage after an election, as we did at the election party last night. But Congressman Ron Estes from the 4th Congressional District on the phone with us here this morning. Congressman, congratulations to you, my friend. What a big win last night.
Well, thank you, Andy. It's good to be on. It was a good night. I mean, it kind of is really reflective of what we've done the last year and a half. Just focusing on what's important to the 4th District, and it's nice to get that election under our belt and kind of a reaffirmation of doing the right things.
Absolutely. Here's the big question now. Now that the House federally went and shifted to the Democrats, which some predicted it. I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought we had such a large enough majority that we'd be okay. We may lose some seats, but not actually lose the majority. But now, according to Fox News, it's going to be about a 219 to 193 majority for the Democrats. How different is it going to be working under the gavel of Nancy Pelosi again? I hate to even say that word. Come on.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be terrible. We've focused the last 2 years on how do we get the country moving forward and to get out of the mess that we were in during the Obama administration. When there wasn't any economic growth, we were at 1.9%, and now we've got it up to 3.5% last quarter, and more jobs and more money in people's pockets and less regulation, and the Democrats are just going to turn that around. It's going to be actually painful for positive things in the country, because their focus is going to be on investigation and not trying to come up with good legislation. So you expect President Trump impeachment process to start. You expect a whole bunch of committee hearings that just talk about silly stuff as they try to grill the secretaries of each of the cabinet agencies. And that's not going to be positive for the country, for them to waste time that way.
They are going to be wasting time. I mean, they're going to try the investigations, I guess, let them stay stagnant in that sense. Do you think an impeachment process is going to go anywhere? We still have a majority in the Senate, and they have to do the investigation for any type of impeachment. With us holding the majority there, they can try the impeachment, but it's not going to go anywhere, is it?
Well, the problem with the House majority is that it's basically, they'll bring it up to the committee, which they would control, and then they'll bring it onto the floor, which they would control in terms of the votes. But the issue is right now is there's just no facts there. I mean, we've had Mueller doing an investigation for a year and a half, and it's not uncovered anything that's related to, first it was collusion with the Russians, and then it was obstruction of justice, and then it was campaign finance activity, and so they won't come up with anything, and it's just, unfortunately, there's not enough mainstream media in Washington that'll hold them accountable to say, okay, you're wasting time here. Let's move on to something that's positive for the country.
Yeah, it'd be nice to actually do something productive. Like, I know you guys are working on a Trump tax cut 2.0 to be able to come back and do that. Now that the House is being controlled by Democrats, are we going to be able to even potentially see a Trump tax cut 2.0, or is that just going to be scrapped and we don't get to look forward to that for another 2 years?
So we're still pushing on that right now. We've got we're going back next week, and we'll have a week before Thanksgiving and then 3 weeks after Thanksgiving. So we're still hoping to get some of that pushed through in the lame duck session, just because we still have control of the House for another couple of months, and can help get something passed through there. Obviously, the Senate goes a little bit more Republican after January, which is a positive thing. But ideally, we can get something passed this year with get some of that done anyway.
Mm-hmm. Many of the House seats that did go blue, some of them were the extremists like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Some of them, though, even going a little bit moderate to some degree. Do you think that there's going to be any opportunity to work with some of the moderate Democrats to get on board to actually get some things done?
Well, I'm not very hopeful that will happen, just because in the past, Nancy Pelosi has ruled with an iron fist, and she's been very upfront about holding Democrats accountable, and if they didn't vote her way, and she's raises a lot of money, and that's where her big drive is in terms of threatening people that she'll get somebody to run against them if they don't vote her way, and
sure.
and we saw that money power this year. I mean, when you have so many races where Republicans, even Republican incumbents, were being outspent by some of these Democratic challengers, and like Kevin Yoder's district up in the Kansas City area, he was outspent on the TV 5-1.
Sure.
In terms of his race, and it's just it's hard to fight back against these billionaires like Soros and Steyer and Bloomberg that are throwing hundreds of millions of dollars at races.
Sure. Congressman Ron Estes, it's going to be a very difficult task for you. It's kind of changed your playing field a little bit, but you're going to continue advancing that conservative fight and trying to do what you can up there. Thank you. Congratulations on the victory last night, and look forward to keep working with you throughout the next couple of years.
All right. Thank you.
I love it. Always a pleasure right there. Congressman Ron Estes, a great, solid asset that we have here in the South Central Kansas area, fighting for what we can, when we can, in Congress, which is going to be very difficult now under Nancy Pelosi. Lots more coming up. Stay here on The Voice of Reason.
Now, back to the KQAM News Desk. Special report, midterm elections. Democrats have won a House majority, picking up at least 24 House seats, with more still being decided. It was enough to break Republicans' 8-year hold on the House that began with the Tea Party rise of 2010. Republicans added seats in the Senate, retaining power there. One of the defeated Democratic incumbents had been a prominent voice for her party, Missouri's Claire McCaskill. She will be replaced by Republican Josh Hawley.
Now it is time to roll up our sleeves and to get to work. The hard work begins. Of going to Washington and standing up for our values. I said that I would fight to secure our border, and I will.
The Senate races in Montana and Arizona have not yet been called, while the contest in Florida in the Senate may trigger an automatic recount, with Republican Rick Scott slightly in the lead. Democrat Tony Evers won the Wisconsin governor's race, ending Republican Scott Walker's 8 years in power. Republicans also won the governor's races in Florida and in Ohio. I'm Michael Toscano.
Congratulations, caller 93. You won!
Wow! Are you serious?
I absolutely am.
Oh my gosh!
To claim your prize,
Woo!
just pull up to the next window, please.
Woo!
Ma'am?
Oh,
Ma'am, can you pull up, please?
Of course.
It feels like a big win when you get a deal like this. Introducing McDonald's new $6 Classic Meal Deal. Choose one of 4 favorites like the Quarter Pounder with cheese, plus any size soft drink, small fries, and a pie. At participating McDonald's for a limited time. Cannot be combined with any other offers.
Hurry to Macy's Veterans Day sale and get 20 to 65% off furniture, mattresses, and rugs with our lowest prices of the season. Get the Maya 82-inch leather sofa, lowest price $789. Tribeca Queen Storage Bed, lowest price only $489. And a Macy Bed by Serta Basics foam firm mattress, lowest price just $147. Get our lowest prices of the season on furniture, mattresses, and rugs now through November 11th at Macy's. Savings off sale prices, exclusions apply.
Kansas Mid-America Network News. Good Wednesday. Kansans waking up to a Democratic governor-elect. Laura Kelly handily defeating Chris Kobach in yesterday's general election by a margin of 48 to 43% statewide. In the U.S. Congress from the 4th District, Ron Estes will continue on to a second term. U.S. Representative from the 2nd District, Steve Watkins, defeating Democratic challenger Paul Davis by a margin of 48 to 46%. And an upset in the state's 3rd Congressional District, with incumbent Republican Kevin Yoder losing his seat to Democratic challenger Sharice Davids. An Oregon man has been charged after he allegedly rammed a Leavenworth County Sheriff's deputy's car twice. Leavenworth County Attorney Todd Thompson said that 42-year-old Derek Kelly of Rainier, Oregon, has been charged with aggravated battery on a law enforcement officer and 3 other counts. Kansas Mid-America Network News. I'm Rick Everett.
Christmas is coming and the goose is getting fat. Time to load up and head to Mound Ridge for the Christmas Arts and Craft Fair, Saturday, November 17th, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Greer Auditorium. November 17th, 9 to 2 for the Mound Ridge Christmas Arts and Craft Fair.
After 44 years as Shire Signs, Park City's Shire Signs is now Shire Graphics, with the highest quality of big truck and fleet logos, as well as vinyl decals and other vehicle graphics. Shire Graphics will still provide the highest quality of those items, and now is leading the area in digitally printed vehicle wraps. Superior quality digital vehicle graphics from Shire Graphics. Our niche is your need in vehicle graphics, from single vehicle to fleet. Shire Graphics at shiregraphics.com.
There it is, Black Friday, and I know everybody has a sale. But at Rusty Eck Ford, our sales are always bigger. Now through November 30th, get up to 30% off a new Ford Focus. Ford Escape, 25% off, or choose 0% for $72 and $1,000 back. F-150 XLTs up to 25% off, or our exclusive 0 for 72.
So come gobble up the savings at Rusty Eck Ford. If you don't come and see us today, we can't save you any money.
Christmas is coming and the goose is getting fat. Time to load up and head to Mound Ridge for the Christmas Arts and Craft Fair, Saturday, November 17th, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Greer Auditorium. November 17th, 9 to 2 for the Mound Ridge Christmas Arts and Craft Fair.
Here's your latest forecast on the Big Talker KQAM. For this morning, a chance of sprinkles, partly sunny, a high near 50. For tonight, a chance of rain after midnight, mixing with snow early tomorrow morning, mostly cloudy and 37. Chance of rain and snow tomorrow, changing to rain, then back to snow tomorrow night. I'm Amp Harrell, and that's your latest forecast on Wichita's big station, the Big Talker, AM 1480 and 102.5 FM KQAM.
At 7:35, it's currently 43 degrees.
This segment of The Voice of Reason on KQAM brought to you by Riverside Cafe, home of the 3-pound burger and hand-cut fries, plus breakfast all day long. 2 Wichita locations and 824 North Baltimore in Derby. Riverside Cafe. It's time for some common sense, sanity, and reason.
You can't handle the truth.
This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Hey, welcome back into The Voice of Reason. Great to have you today on a Wednesday. It's a post-election Wednesday. Good news, bad news, interesting news all across the board. Kind of a smorgasbord of things to go at today. Again, still not necessarily bad. Maybe a blue ripple came through, but we're going to continue on to advance conservatism. Again, I feel so bad for all the Republicans in Congress having to go under the reign of Nancy Pelosi again. Are you kidding me? Come on. That's going to be ridiculous. 316-721-8255. By the way, I have not forgotten, but we're going to be giving 2 turkeys away today from the KQAM Turkey Drop. We're going to be giving 2 away today because we didn't get a chance to do one yesterday. So brought to you in hat tip to Yoder Meat, yodermeatsks.com. And we'll be doing that here in just a little bit. Plus, I do have as well, I'm in a giving mood today because, we're still recovering from the election last night, from good stuff and bad stuff, and the late night that we had. I got about 2.5 hours of sleep, but that's all right because I'm still pumped up and energized this morning, as you can tell. But I do have some other stuff to give away, too. Down in Oklahoma, Saturday, November 17th, is the WCRA semifinals, the rodeo, the bull riders that are going to be going down there. I have some tickets we'll give away for that one. More information to come in just a little bit. In the local races, outside of the statewide and federal races, we had 3 county commission seats for Sedgwick County that were up for grabs. Pete Meitzner, Republican, ended up winning in District Number 1 in that open seat, 53-46. We did see the wild one, the weird one. I was hoping this wasn't the case. I didn't think it would happen, but it did. Lacey Cruz won over Richard Randolph, 55-44. And in the 5th district for Sedgwick County Commission, Jim Howell, Republican incumbent, ends up winning over independent Jim Skelton, 55-43, in a very hefty, nicely manner, as we do our county update each day. And we are excited to have back on the program to say congratulations and talk about the county commission meeting that seems it's going to go on today, even after the election tomorrow. Sedgwick County Commissioner, Mr. Jim Howell. Jim, congratulations on the race, my friend.
Well, thank you, Andy. It was great to have a victory last night. You did a tremendous job at the MC at the big GOP party.
Thank you.
But it was a great victory. I thought I wanted to say I felt like I would win, but as a candidate, that's always a dangerous place to be. So I've always put it in my mind that the loss is certainly possible. Mm-hmm. But we ended up with a 12-point victory last night. That really exceeded anything I could even imagine. So very, very pleased with the results of the race last night.
It was a very good race. No, absolutely. It was a very good race for you, as you mentioned, 55-43, a very wide margin, so a huge victory. And that shows that people still believed in what you were doing. I mean, it was a very odd race because the 2 out of the 3 races were 2 of the county commissioners that weren't under FBI investigation, while the other 3 were. And then I don't know if that was coming back as a wrath on you guys, saying that they were just lumping all of the county commission in with shenanigans going on, but you and Richard Ranzo were not under investigation in any way, shape, or form, and you 2 were the ones that were actually running, and I don't know how that affected the race one way or another last night.
I was concerned about that as well. I think there's some people who maybe voted for me because they know I have integrity and ethics because I demonstrated that in this issue. But there's other people like Scott that called into your show this morning who apparently doesn't want to differentiate between those that are being investigated and those that are fighting corruption. And so I think there's possibility that I may have lost some votes as well. So whether it was a plus or minus to me in my race, I just don't really know. Mm-hmm. But it certainly was a factor, absolutely.
The makeup of the county commission now, let's talk about potentially how we're going to move forward with this. Before, it was predominantly like you and Richard Ranzau that were the conservatives, with sometimes once in a while either David Dennis or Michael O'Donnell. But predominantly lately, it's been kind of a 3-2 difference with you and Ranzau siding and then the other three going the other direction. Now that Ranzau's gone, we have Lacey Cruz, who's been very open with her progressivism and her extremism in that sense. She was very much a member of the quote-unquote socialist or democratic socialists in the area. So that one's a bit of a change. But then we have Pete Meitzner coming into District Number 1, a Republican. From your stance moving forward in the county commission, how do you think the makeup's going to look when it comes to major votes?
Well, I would actually say that there's really not an alliance, at least on my end of the spectrum. I don't really follow anybody else's vote, so for me, I'm not sure that it makes a difference in terms of how I will vote going forward, and I'm not sure where any alliances might be. But I think that Commissioner-elect Meitzner is going to be very much similar to Commissioner Unruh in terms of his ideology and his operation up there, so I don't think that's going to be a significant difference. I do think the difference from Richard Ranzau to Lacey Cruz will certainly be very noteworthy. To me, it was disappointing to see Richard lose. I think he was mischaracterized. He is a little prickly, but that's not a bad thing necessarily. He's a good man. He has obviously very high integrity. He cares deeply about this county. He's done a tremendous service to the county. So I'll be sad to see him go, but I guess at this point I need to say it this way, that I look forward to getting to know Lacey Cruz, and I'm sure she'll bring fresh discussion and maybe a different way of thinking to the table. So we'll certainly turn this into lemonade, and we'll certainly find a way to get along, and I'm sure she'll be instrumental in defining policy for our county. So I look forward to working with her.
You know what? I do have to say, I always say that it's Andy's optimism of the day, but I think it's Jim's optimism of the day today on that one. Look, Lacey Cruz can go one of two ways, and I hope it's one of them, but she could either go in there as the quote-unquote firebrand young socialist that wants to change things and overhaul the system. She could either, number one, go in and have a reality check of the way things actually work and realize that things are doing well in the county, that you've been able to limit the amount of debt you have, being able to pay for things in cash, and that things are doing well, and she kind of gets that kind of reality, or she goes in with the ideological mentality of we're going to overhaul everything, and she's going to be useless to the county commission, and I hope that it's the former.
Well, I would encourage her to don't make any alliances with anybody, to really look at things analytically and judge things for where they really are, because I think really the county's in a pretty good position. If someone who comes in without a bias and come in with some thought about where we really are and what we've gotten done, I think that generally speaking, most people would say this is really pretty good. I think what we're doing here is really, really pretty good. Doesn't mean we don't have opportunities. We certainly do have things we need to work on, but some of the things we hear about that are being so-called so bad, for example, using more cash versus debt, I think it's a great policy, and I think that to me, it's very rational and logical. I think I could explain this to almost anybody, and they would come across and say, that does make a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. So I hope that she does that. I don't want her to align with me necessarily or align with anybody.
Sure.
I want her just to be open and approachable and rational and hear the arguments, because I think that it drives people to make the best decisions. And any alliances that may be political alliances that are kind of hidden, to me, that's not helpful to the commission. We just need to have people be really focused on the issues themselves and let the issues drive our decisions.
Sure. Absolutely. Going into, it's weird because usually you talked about before, you usually don't have a county commission meeting after the day after an election because the county's helping out with verifying and starting the process for after election time and doing whatever they can to assist. But there has been a county commission meeting called today. What's on the agenda, and why do you think it was called the day after an election?
Yeah, so to your point, we did not schedule a regular BOCC meeting today, and we planned on having today off. And it really is for obvious reasons, because commissioners win and lose their races. Plus, we're just exhausted. This is just a bad day for a very important regular business meeting. So we typically skip the day after a general election where commissioners are on the ballot. And so today, rather than a regular meeting, it looks like the chairman has called a special meeting of the BOCC. And rather than being televised, it's going to be at 1:30. It will be recorded, so it's not the normal time. There will not be public comment available today. This is an opportunity for commissioners to meet in an open meeting. I expect we will have an executive session to kick off that meeting. So the first 45 minutes will be us leaving the room, going back behind closed doors, and deliberating some topic relating to a personnel issue of some sort. And then we'll come back out, and we may or may not have some items to present at the bench and some potential voting that might happen at that point. So it'll certainly be an interesting meeting. I would expect a number of comments to be made from the bench today once we come back from the executive session. So it'll certainly be an interesting day. I expect whatever we do will if there's any action that comes out of the executive session, then I expect that will make the news. So people ought to stay tuned. I'm sure the comments may be newsworthy. So we'll see what happens. I don't really know what to expect, but I just know that based on what's gone on in the past few weeks, that I guess this makes me a little bit nervous that I may not necessarily agree with what may be decided today. So we'll see. But anyway, I hope people stay tuned. They're certainly welcome to attend our meeting. Again, as I said, it's an open meeting except for the executive session portion of that, and that should be the first part of the meeting. So the meeting starts at 1:30. The executive session should last 45 minutes. So about 2:15, I expect we'll come back out and probably have some discussion and possibly a decision at that point. So
very interesting.
I hope people stay tuned in and attend if they would like, but certainly watch the news.
Well, it's going to be fascinating to listen to, especially with the beginning of it being closed doors, and then you guys coming out with some kind of bombshell potentially. So who knows? We'll see. And more drama continues on with These Are the Days of Sedgwick County Commission. And we'll continue to follow that one as they go along. But congratulations again for the win last night over Jim Skelton. That was a big win last night, and another few years to where we can continue to try and fight for the right thing in our county.
Well, Andy, I'm looking forward to the next 4 years of you and I talking on Wednesday mornings at 7:30.
I love it. That's the way to do it right there. Sedgwick County Commissioner Jim Howell, again, congrats, and we'll chat with you again here real soon.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
Hey, you as well. Always appreciate it right there. 47 minutes past the hour, and before we wrap up for this break and we go on, I want to do it. We haven't done it yesterday, so we're going to do 2 today, but it is time.
Call now at 721-8255 and guess where your Thanksgiving turkey dropped. Right here on 1480 KQAM.
Yeah, that's the way we roll. All right, so we've done 1 so far. We're going to do 2 today because we missed it yesterday, but it is time for our turkey drop here on KQAM, presented by Yoder Meats. Yoder Meats, 3 locations in Wichita, 1 in Yoder, online at yodermeatsks.com. They have, obviously, awesome meat, and you're going to get yourself a Thanksgiving turkey. Here's how it works. We have all our great participating sponsors with the promotion, and as you know, the promotion is that the helicopter flies around town, drops a turkey on a certain business, one that's advertising and sponsoring with our promotion, and you guess. I give you 3 options. You guess which one it is, and if you win right, you get yourself a Thanksgiving turkey. If you get it wrong, we go to the next caller and we try it all over again. So let's say we have some fun today. We're recovering from the elections, both good stuff and bad stuff. We need a little fun, lightheartedness, and we're going to give away a Thanksgiving turkey. Why not? I mean, come on. We just had a socialist get onto our county commission. Why not start giving away free goodies, right? That's what I'm saying. Let's go to the phones here. Start off with line number 1 as the first attempt. Good morning. Who's this? Oh, we lost that one. Let's jump to it here. Line number 2. Good morning. What's your name?
James.
Hey, good morning, James. How are you, sir?
Doing well, thank you.
Hey, very good. All right, so we have our 3 businesses today, and you have to guess which one the turkey drops on. Will it be today? Prime Auto Sales, Stephanie Carlson, J.P. Wygand, or Davis Liquor Outlet? Which one, James, do you think it's going to land on today?
J.P. Wygand.
J.P. Wygand. Ooh, let's see here. The helicopter is flying high above By the way, this is preordained. It's not just me making these things up, but they gave me the list on where it's going to land today. It's going to drop. Will we win today?
Oh, no.
Ooh. Didn't get it today. That's all right, James. Give us a call back tomorrow and try again, or later in the show today, because we're going to do it now, number 3 as well. Let's go to it. Line number 3. Good morning. What's your name?
Doug.
Hey, Doug. How are you, sir?
Oh, good. How you doing this morning?
Hey, we are living the dream, my friend. All right, you really got a 50-50 chance now. Prime Auto Sales, Stephanie Carlson, and Davis Liquor. James chose Stephanie Carlson, and that was not it. So you have a 50-50 chance between Prime Auto Sales and Davis Liquor Outlet. Which one, Doug, do you think is going to land on today?
Davis Liquor.
Davis Liquor Outlet. Let's see. The helicopter's flying high above. We see something dropping. Why isn't the parachute coming out? What's happening? There it is. There it is, my friend. Congratulations, Doug. You won yourself a Thanksgiving turkey hat tip to Davis Liquor Outlet and Yoder Meats KQM Radio. Stay on the line. We'll get your information here in just a second. That's 2 down. We'll do another one in hour number 3. What do you say? Let's give some more stuff away. This is The Voice of Reason.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier on the Big Talker, KQAM.
Market information, Mid-America Ag Network. Live cattle futures ended Tuesday mixed. Front month December was up a dime. Feeder cattle futures were also mixed. Nearby contracts up 17 to 47 cents. The back months were lower. The CME feeder cattle index was down 23 cents November 5th at 153.32. Wholesale boxed beef prices were higher Tuesday afternoon. Choice boxes were up 17 cents at 218.76. Select boxes were $2.31 higher at 204.66. USDA estimated federally inspected cattle slaughter at 119,000 head on Tuesday. That brings to the weekly total to 238,000 head. That's 4,000 head above last week. Lean hog futures posted sharp losses in most contracts Tuesday. December was down the limit, and today we will have expanded limits of $4.50. The CME lean hog index was down 4 cents from the previous day at 64.08 November the 2nd. USDA pork carcass cutout value down 78 cents at 74.08 Tuesday afternoon. The national base hog carcass price 55 cents lower, a weighted average of 55.80. Estimated federally inspected hog slaughter 477,000 head on Tuesday. That brings the weekly total to 953,000 head. That's up 22,000 head from last week. Refocusing now, corn, soybeans, and wheat. Corn futures are trading as much as a penny a bushel lower this morning after some light selling interest on Tuesday. Soybean futures are 1 to 1.5 cents higher so far today, and wheat futures are unchanged to 1.5 cents higher after settling Tuesday with 3 to 5 cent gains in the winter wheat contracts. Looking at where we are right this moment, December corn down 0.5 cent, 3.72 3/4. Later months are lower. December Kansas City wheat is up 0.5 cent at 5.08 1/2. March is up 1/4 cent at 5.31 1/2. November soybeans up 3/4 at 8.72 3/4. Soybean meal and soybean oil also higher. Markets, Mid-America Ag Network.
Picture yourself in a hat.
Anyone can look good in a hat.
Whether making a fashion statement or dressing for activities,
Hatman Jack's has the finest selection in the state.
Driving caps, western hats, fedoras.
fur and leather hats, all very affordably priced.
And ladies, we are your hat headquarters.
Come in and see why hat lovers from around the nation make Hatman Jack's their destination.
At the Clock Tower in Delano.
Hatman Jack's, 601 West Douglas. Fall has a certain feel to it, like no other. And if you're the type of person that likes to get things done outside, there's nothing like the feel of steel in your grip to get the job done. Pride Ag Ace Hardware of Mays has perhaps the best selection of steel power equipment in western Wichita, maybe south central Kansas. Check out the steel products that have earned the most praise from owners like you at Pride Ag Ace Hardware of Mays, 5204 North Mays Road, where we take pride in serving you.
We live in a digital world. With the convenience of staying connected, it's critical to protect your digital identity. Here are some helpful tips from AARP Kansas and the AARP Fraud Watch Network. Use strong, unique passwords or passphrases for every site you visit. Never conduct sensitive financial or personal activities when connected to public Wi-Fi. And turn off your Bluetooth when you're not using it to keep your device secure. Learn more at aarp.org/fraudwatchnetwork. Paid for by AARP.
Before we know it, we'll be scraping windshields and working on year-end things. What are you wearing? Life gets away from us sometimes, like the annual eye exam that your insurance company all but pays for. Waring and Fiegel Optometry at 21st and Tyler is a full-scope professional optometry practice. At Waring and Fiegel Optometry, new patients are welcome. Don't let the benefits of your insurance, let alone the benefits of healthy vision, get away from you. Waring and Fiegel Optometry, 21st and Tyler.
Two things that keep customers coming back and referring their friends to Lee Reed Engraving are superior quality and unparalleled customer service. The time to recognize team members through annual awards or employee contributions this year is right around the corner. Lee Reed Engraving specializes in the personalization of awards and recognition items for businesses, schools, churches, and professional organizations of all types. You can learn more at LeeReedEngraving.com. Lee Reed Engraving, 3417 West Central.
Some headlines you just can't make up. ABC News. This is the craziness of the electoral state right now. I don't know if you're aware of the libertarian, quote-unquote, Republican candidate from Nevada who also owns the brothels in Nevada, Dennis Hoff, who died from a heart attack about a month ago, won the election last night for the House of Representatives that he was running for the state legislature in that district. He won the race as a libertarian brothel owner, and he's dead because of a heart attack from about last month. So, kind of interesting news there. I'm sure they'll have a special election now, but still won. Some things you just can't make up. Congratulations to Doug on the turkey drop. You ended up winning that one. We'll do another one in hour number 3. Stay tuned in for that. More information to come and more giveaways to happen here on KQAM. But with that, let's go to the phones. It is open lines. No other guests for the show today. Steve Watkins, Republican candidate, not able to join today. We'll get him on probably early next week and chat with him on the race. But with that, let's wrap up hour number 2 with a phone call, shall we? Line number 2. Good morning. What's your name? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, how we doing?
Oh, I'm just reeling from the gubernatorial race in Kansas. I didn't see that coming.
Didn't see that one come. We had a lot of momentum in the state of Kansas. I thought it was going to be at least a lot closer than that. I gave them a 3-point margin. They were, from internal polls, what they were saying for what I had talked to their team last night. They said that they had projected a 1-point victory. And again, it really came down to Sedgwick County. Sedgwick County is what really lost the race for Chris Kobach.
I realize that. I guess we're a little bit better off than Colorado, though.
That is true.
That they're really touting that an openly homosexual won. I just
well, look, in Colorado, Democrats won across the board. They won the governorship, and they won a lot of seats in their state legislature as well. They're going to be in bad shape. They had already proposed some style of universal health care statewide in Colorado. I'm guessing that that's probably going to happen now, along with them repealing a lot of gun rights that they've slowly been able to gain back over the last few years. Those are probably going to go away again. So Colorado's going to be in a hard shape. We took a hit with the governor's race last night. I'm not happy about it. At the same time, we won big in our state legislature, and I think we have an opportunity to at least keep Laura Kelly at bay.
What do you think about the fourth district going to?
You mean the third with Sharice Davids?
Excuse me.
It was expected. It was expected. I don't want to see our congressional seats go blue, but Kevin Yoder, I think, lost his base when he tried to play too moderate. He tried to play too nice in many votes, and I think that came back to bite him. He tried to play the conservative in the end, and it didn't work out. So you know what? Lesson learned, and we're going to move forward from there. Yeah, the Democrats, guess what? They got to play their class warfare and their division in different categories, and they checked off the Native American, woman, lesbian, kickboxer. So I guess we have that going for us now. But lesson learned, and we'll see what the next one does. Appreciate the call. Got to take a break. Hour number 3 coming up.
Hey, did you see my engagement ring?
Oh my gosh, where did he get that?
Athena Jewelry at 219 East Douglas in Wichita. They have everything from watches like Citizen, Seiko, Bulova, custom-made engagement rings, diamond-style earrings, custom-designed jewelry.
That is fantastic. How do I get a hold of them?
You can visit them at 219 East Douglas, or you can call them at 267-0205.
Well, why hasn't my boyfriend gone there?
Athena Jewelry, 219 East Douglas.
If you're active military, a veteran, or part of our law enforcement community, bring in your active or inactive military ID or an active law enforcement ID to any Riverside Cafe location. Buy 2 meals and a drink and get the second meal of equal or lesser value for free. Again, for any military vets or law enforcement, buy 1 meal and 2 drinks and get the second meal at no charge. A special offer from a special place, Riverside Cafe.
Riverside Cafe in Wichita at 9125 West Central or 13th and Bidding, or in Derby at 824 North Baltimore.
This is a Steckline communication station, K273CX, FM 102.5, and AM 1480 KQAM, Wichita proud. It's time for your latest news from the KQAM News Center. Brought to you by Continental Truck Accessories, 6701 South Broadway. Show your truck some love with Continental Truck Accessories.
Good Wednesday morning. The Sedgwick County Sheriff's Office says it's investigating after crews pulled a body from a sand pit yesterday afternoon. Sedgwick County Sheriff's Captain Brad Hoke says a passerby is who spotted the body at a sand pit and reported the discovery around 4:30 yesterday afternoon near 63rd Street South and Broadway. KWCH-TV reports that Hoke says the Sedgwick County Fire Department helped retrieve the body. Authorities believe it had been there for a while, and it's too early in the investigation to confirm any descriptions of the body. A man and woman have been sentenced to more than 50 years in prison for the torturing and killing of a Wichita man over $185 in a methamphetamine deal that went bad. District Judge Bruce Brown called the crimes horrific beyond imagination when sentencing Jeff and Heidi Hillard to the maximum penalties for the torture and murder of Scotty Goodpastor in Valley Center 2 years ago. Both will serve life without the possibility of parole for 50 years. Wichita State University wants to raise student fees to finance about $38 million worth of campus upgrades, including part of a new business school on the Innovation Campus. An average undergraduate student taking 15 hours at WSU currently pays about $782 per semester in student fees, not including tuition. The proposed increase would raise that by about $90 per semester. And in local county commission races from yesterday's election, Pete Meitzner in the 1st District will continue on as that district's county commissioner. The same goes for 5th District Commissioner Jim Howell as he defeated independent Jim Skelton. An upset, however, in the Sedgwick County Commission 4th District race as Democratic challenger Lacey Cruz defeated Richard Ransaw. And go ahead and brace for it now. Much colder weather coming to south central Kansas. However, forecasters saying not much, if any, snow will add up to accumulation here. I'm Rick Everett from the news desk, now with sports. Doug Downs.
The Wichita State Shockers lost their first home opener since 1995 last night as Louisiana Tech came into Koch Arena and beat the Shockers 71-58. Coach Greg Marshall can point to 2 things that ailed the Shockers last night.
We're smashed on the glass, minus 13 at home. Didn't make free throws. Shoot 42%, get out rebounded by 13. You're probably not going to win.
The Shockers now go on the road to face Providence this Friday. Kansas got a big win last night over a top 10 matchup between Michigan State. KU held on to win the game by 5, 92-87. From the sports desk, I'm Doug Downs.
MJ's Truck Repair at Exit 46 off I-135 in Mound Ridge, America is the largest full-service truck center between Wichita and Salina in central Kansas. Truckers in the know already know, and ag people from miles around know they can turn to MJ's Truck Repair for repair and parts for their tractors, combines, and hay equipment. You construction types, listen up. Skid steers, backhoes, forklifts, bulldozers, and payloaders. MJ's of Mound Ridge is also your construction equipment, parts, and repair headquarters. Find MJ's on the web at mjstruckrepair.com.
Shopping small and local this holiday season feels good, so pass along these good tidings with gift boxes and baskets from Yoder Meats. Our gift boxes are filled with locally sourced meats and steaks, as well as cheeses and other products made from Kansas companies. We're sure you'll love supporting them too. What a wonderful way to show your love and appreciation to family, friends, clients, or employees. From our Christmas tree to yours, give the old-fashioned flavor of Yoder Meats in Yoder and 3 locations in Wichita.
carrying the crafts of the top designers, and an in-house team that specializes in custom design, bridal jewelry, diamonds, and the ability to design a piece or ring just as unique as the recipient. Jewelry Savers in front of Cabela's at K96 and Greenwich Road has earned the reputation as Wichita's best. But don't take my word for it. Ask their customers, or better yet, experience Jewelry Savers for yourself.
We don't want $1 million, just a million friends.
Here's the latest from the KQAM News Center.
Special report, midterm elections. Democrats have won a House majority, picking up at least 24 House seats, with more still being decided. It was enough to break Republicans' 8-year hold on the House that began with the Tea Party rise of 2010. Republicans added seats in the Senate, retaining power there. One of the defeated Democratic incumbents had been a prominent voice for her party, Missouri's Claire McCaskill. She will be replaced by Republican Josh Hawley.
Now it is time to roll up our sleeves and to get to work. The hard work begins. Of going to Washington and standing up for our values. I said that I would fight to secure our border, and I will.
The Senate races in Montana and Arizona have not yet been called, while the contest in Florida in the Senate may trigger an automatic recount, with Republican Rick Scott slightly in the lead. Democrat Tony Evers won the Wisconsin governor's race, ending Republican Scott Walker's 8 years in power. Republicans also won the governor's races in Florida and in Ohio. I'm Michael Toscano.
Your local weather on KQAM. Brought to you by Spears Restaurant and Pie Shop at the northeast corner of Town West Mall on Maple. Getting it right for over 60 years. Spears Restaurant and Pie Shop.
Here's your latest forecast on the Big Talker KQAM. For this morning, a chance of sprinkles, partly sunny, a high near 50. For tonight, a chance of rain after midnight, mixing with snow early tomorrow morning, mostly cloudy and 37. Chance of rain and snow tomorrow, changing to rain, then back to snow tomorrow night. I'm Amp Harrell, and that's your latest forecast on Wichita's big station, the Big Talker, AM 1480 and 102.5 FM KQAM.
At 8:06, it's currently 43 degrees.
Broadcasting from the Rusty Eck Ford Studios, this is the Big Talker, 1480 AM and 102.5 FM KQAM. It's time for Reason.
It doesn't matter who's campaigning for you. It's the message that you're portraying. And right now, the message from the Democrats is a losing campaign, is a losing message, because they don't have one other than we want to reverse everything that's happening right now, and we hate you because you're a big meanie head. This is going to be a Ronald Reagan-esque re-election campaign in the midterms, with Republicans winning across the board at state levels and at federal levels.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Welcome into the Voice of Reason, hour number 3, the Voice of Reason, broadcasting live out of the heart of the nation here in Wichita, Kansas, on the Big Talker, 1480 on the AM side, 102.5 the FM side, KQAM, simulcasting as well on TV, KGPT TV channel 2610. Good morning, welcome aboard. It's an honor to have you along today for the ride on a post-election Wednesday. Good news, bad news, weird news, odd news. Again, nothing we can't handle, and I get the frustration. Even with the last caller, I get it. We are licking our wounds, so to speak, when it comes to the governor's race, but you know what? We're in good shape. Our legislature is in good shape. Our conservatism is higher than our legislature than it has been in a really long time. We have an opportunity to block the Laura Kelly agenda, and as she even said on her victory speech last night.
All right, here we go.
All right, here we go, baby. It's going to happen, and we have just as much enthusiasm as she does. It is a very interesting race for the governor's race that I do want to get into, but it is open lines to you this hour, 316-721-8255. No other guests. We do thank Congressman Ron Estes joining the program last hour, and us be able to say congratulations to him as he won very handily last night. Steve Watkins, not able to join today. We'll get him on the show hopefully early next week, but big congrats to him on that race in the 2nd District, keeping that one red. Sharice Davids and Kevin Yoder, you do what you can, and you know what? You live and you learn, and we can move forward from there. I just feel bad for all the Republicans who are going to have to deal with the gavel of Nancy Pelosi. That right there scares the heebie-jeebies out of me. Yeah, I know. We got some calls on the line, so let's go ahead and jump right to them. Also, we got a guest that swung in studio to say howdy as well. We'll get to in a second. But first off, phone calls, your thoughts, your analysis of the election last night. What's the next step? Here's my thoughts. First off, legislature, conservatives, ram through 0% tax on sales tax for groceries, lower the property tax, one after the other, have it on the governor's desk by week number 1. Her campaign promise was that she was going to lower sales tax on food and lower property taxes because both of those were the result of the Brownback experiment. If you hate the Brownback experiment so much, then lower those, approve the legislation to lower those, and let's get her done. Or else you're a liar. And that's the way we're going to play it. Republicans start going after the Democrats. If they don't fulfill their campaign promise in that sense, if they don't actually promote things that are going to help Kansans for lower class, for middle class individuals, then you know what? Go after them, expose them for what they are, be vicious, not angry and brutal and going out of your way like the Democrats have been as being physically vicious, but be vicious and expose who they are. Grow a backbone. That's what it's all about, and that's what we have to do. Let's go to the phones. Line number 1. Good morning. What's your name?
Hey, it's John the Libertarian.
John the Libertarian. How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic, Andy. All this hype and the record-breaking turnout, this election was not remarkable at all. It actually just stayed true to history. So Kansas switched the governorship again in party terms.
Sure.
And in a midterm election at the federal level, it almost always goes against the incumbent.
Sure.
So Republicans lost the House. I think the one remarkable thing is that Republicans actually gained a seat or two in the Senate.
Yes.
So that has to be seen as a win for the Republicans. And like you said, we'll lick our wounds with the governorship, but it wasn't unexpected.
Right. No, it was an uphill battle for Chris Kobach. It was very difficult for him to come after the Brownback lies and attacks that Laura Kelly and the Democrats were doing on him and many of the legislative seats. That was the uphill battle that he had to go up against. Then you had the fact that it is a trend. Every 8 years we swing back and forth. Then you had the very energized activist base of the Democrats in the populated areas like Sedgwick County, which, again, Sedgwick County is the county that lost the governorship. If Sedgwick County would have gone red, we would have won. Now, it could be the campaign tactics. It could have been I don't know what it was. It could have been the energized base for the Democrats here in this area. But if Sedgwick County, Chris Kobach lost by 50,000 votes, and if we lost in Sedgwick County by 50,000 votes, if this would have gone Republican, we would have won for Chris Kobach, and it would have been a red victory. So we can digress and try and describe however that happened. Here's the big question for you, though, and get your thoughts on it. Is it time for a statewide electoral college instead of 8 counties out of the 200 counties that we have in the state or whatever it is? Is it time that we have an electoral college in Kansas? Because right now, 8 counties decided our governor's race.
That's an interesting perspective. I don't know any other states that actually do that. In fact, I think the only election nationwide that is an electoral election is for the presidency.
Sure.
And that goes back to the I can't remember the name of it all of a sudden, but that goes back to the founding of the country and the Constitution. I don't know how that would work. We've always done a popular election, and as we know, it switches back and forth. But that's just the nature of Kansas, because we are so conservative that it feels like in the primaries we get a candidate that is so ultra-conservative that he can't please the moderates and please the Democrats, that he can't get enough of them to switch over. Well, one thing I have heard from several of the staunch Republicans that did lose, like John Whitmer and now Chris Kobach, is they were the most staunchly against legalization. And, they were very much for the prohibition of marijuana, and that's something that I've heard from Republican strategists in our state, is that if they had softened that tone a little bit, that could have been the difference in the race.
Do you think that really had the effect on it? I mean, we have redistricting. We have 3 Supreme Court justices that are going to be nominated. We have the taxes that are out of control, the spending. We have the Laura Kelly saying that she's going to reinvest in education tenfold, and that's going to be her number one main focus. all of that, and the number one issue that says, yeah, you know what, I'm not going to go for Chris Kobach is not because maybe they didn't see him as very relatable, or they thought that maybe he was a bit of a jerk or something, or maybe his history as Secretary of State or something. But the one issue of marijuana, do you think that's what had the effect?
No, I don't think that's the issue. I think it's all an accumulative effect. But I think that's one issue that, not coming up pro-legalization, but just being a little bit softer on it could have made a difference. And that's not something that I've made up. That's actually something I've heard from several Republican strategists within our own state.
Sure.
And that's something that we've talked about before, that Colorado experienced when you had so many Republicans that were staunchly against it, and then all of a sudden your big names started losing. Well, those Republicans softened their stance on it, and all of a sudden you had Republicans winning, but they were Republicans winning with the right message.
Well, that's a good point. John the Libertarian, I always love the input, my friend. Appreciate the phone call very much. By the way, it was 9 counties, not 8, 9 counties. Harvey County, just north of Sedgwick, was one that ended up going light blue, but it ended up going blue nonetheless in the end. So 9 counties total in the state of Kansas. We have 100 counties. I believe it's 100 counties, whatever it was, 100-plus counties in the state. 9 counties ended up deciding our governor's race, 3 of them going to Greg Orman. Every other one went red. Is it time, and maybe that's the question of the day, is it time for an electoral college process in the state of Kansas? We got some calls in line, but we also have a guest in studio here that we got to swing by. We'll get to you here in a second. Let's take some more phone calls. You got some time, don't you? All right. Well, we got a surprise guest that we'll chat with here in just a second, but let's go to the more phone calls. Line number 3. Good morning. What's your name?
Good morning, Andy. It's Ron.
Good morning, Ron. How are you, sir?
Well, it was great. We made some big inroads in the state.
Yes.
But we've got to get off this what if. If a frog had wings, he wouldn't wear his butt out hopping on the ground. Right now we need to, Mr. Estes has said on the campaign trail that they threw over hundreds of legislation over to the Senate up there in Washington, D.C. We have got to call both senators, and we got to flood them and say, you need to get off the center, and you need to get all this passed before January.
Mm-hmm. That is very true. I mean, look, we only have a 52 to whatever the race was, 52 seats in the Senate, 52 to 45 right now from the election last night, which means we still have a majority, but it's still a slim majority, and some of those moderate Republicans in the Senate could still swing some legislation at the federal level, especially with the Democrats controlling the House, for them to find compromises that may not be beneficial to us. It's going to be a hard fight, so our senators, we need to be making phone calls too. And now with the Democrat majority in the House, it is imperative that we make some strong calls to our congressmen each and every time that there's major legislation, to let them know where we stand on it, so they fight the fight, and they know that they're up against a majority that's going to be very vicious to them, that's not going to be very favorable to their ideas in any way, shape, or form, but they have to stand their ground.
Yeah, also, Vicki Schmidt is a senator, and she just got elected.
Mm-hmm.
We need to find someone up there in the Topeka area, and we need to get behind them and push them to put a conservative in there to replace her.
Sure. That's a really great point. Absolutely. Ron, I appreciate that very much. Keep up the fight, my friend. I know you do. We're going to continue to do the same thing as well. But this election, again, we took some hits, but it's nothing we can't come back from and nothing that we can't stop from the progressive agenda. Laura Kelly, again, she said it last night.
All right, here we go.
All right, here we go. Let's get ready for war, because it's going to be a war nonstop in our legislature. Let's take another phone call here before we take a break. Shall we? Line number 4. Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Eddie.
Good morning, Eddie. How are you, sir?
Well, number 1, Jim Howell won, which is beautiful.
Absolutely.
And number two, today is Wednesday. It's a beautiful new day. And to hell with what happened yesterday, we're going to go straight ahead and do what we want to do and fight for what we want to fight for, no matter what kind of cards you're dealt in life.
Mm-hmm.
You just get up the next day and you go straight ahead and you go on to victory in your own way.
Well, see,
It's going to
that's
be
what I'm
beautiful,
talking about.
Andy.
That's what I'm talking about. And again, we lost the governor's race, which hurt. I really wanted to see a Governor Chris Kobach. I think he would have been absolutely phenomenal in the governorship. It didn't happen. But look, we had such huge victories in just South Central Kansas, in the same area where Kobach lost. We gained 3 conservative seats in our state legislature that were previously Democrats. And along with that, from the 7 or 8 that we won from moderate Republicans to conservatives in the primaries, we really gained about 10 to 12 seats last night of conservative Republicans that are going to be able to fight the good fight in our state government. We're going to be in decent shape.
We are in decent shape. We're just going to be just fine, and Sedgwick County is going to be just fine. The county commission, I'm looking for the county commission not to be settled down until about March of next year because of the O'Donnell trial. But after that's over with, everything's going to be just fine because Pete Mitzer, he's a good Republican, and he's more like a Ranzel than anyone else, to be quite honest with you.
Sure.
I mean, but we're going to be just fine.
I like it. I love your enthusiasm and optimism all the time, Eddie. I appreciate that very much, my friend. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Again, the 3 seats that we did win last night, we have Steve Kelly that ended up winning in district number 72 over Tim Hodge. Great win, a 1% margin right there, just under 100 votes on that one. That's a flip from a Democrat to a Republican. Cheryl Helmer in district number 79. No one thought that one was going to happen. We were optimistic, but that's a big, tough one to defeat, and we've tried to defeat Ed Trimmer for a long time, Democrat incumbent. We won 51-49 in that one. Ron Howard as well. Ron Howard had a great victory last night with his race, and I'm trying to remember here it is. District number 98 was Steve Crum. Steve Crum, another big Democrat in that one. We won 52-48. We swung just 3 seats locally here from Democrat to red. We're going to be able to fight this because the enthusiasm for Republicanism and conservatism is still here. Got some other calls on the line. We got to take a break. Plus, we'll get to our special guest in studio as well. And we have another turkey drop to give away right here on KQAM. It's a big show. It's a post-election. Let's regroup a little bit. Let's strategize, and we can move forward and do something really positive right here on The Voice of Reason. 21 minutes past the hour. Stay here.
You're listening to The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier on the Big Talker, KQAM.
For the first time, smartphone sales are declining. So to bring in revenues, a new type of phone is coming that will cost around $2,000. Kim Commando with your Wednesday Consumer Tech Update, brought to you by BePrepared.com. What you need, when you need it. Visit BePrepared.com/Kim. Smartphones haven't changed lately, aside from better cameras, brighter screens, and faster chips. But with the new 5G faster connection speed, that will spark more video uses, a phone screen has to change. Specifically, how can we have a phone with a big screen and still fit it in our pocket? The solution? A foldable screen. Apple has a patent for a screen that folds like the letter Z. It's Samsung, though, that will have the first mass-marketed foldable phone. The Galaxy will fold in half and still show alerts. It'll be out next year. The price is set at around $2,000. I sure hope it makes phone calls, too. I'm Kim Commando. Over the years, I've tried and tested every way that average people can and should back up the data on their computers. I'll tell you that iDrive is simply the best cloud backup service there is. 4 big reasons why. First, it's the easiest to use. I back up everything. All my computers, smartphones, iPads, tablets, everything to one single iDrive account. Second, it's the most secure. With iDrive snapshots, I'll never lose even a single byte of data. Never pay a penny because of ransomware. Third, get your data to the cloud fast with iDrive Express, a free shipping service where once a year, iDrive will send you a physical drive. You load your data on it and ship it right back. Your data will be in the cloud within a week. And fourth, it's cost effective. If you're using any other cloud backup or storage service, switch to iDrive today and get an amazing 90% off the first year. Use my name, Kim, as the promo code. That's iDrive.com, promo code Kim.
There it is, Black Friday, and I know everybody has a sale.
But at Rusty Eck Ford, our sales are always bigger.
Now through November 30th, get up to 30% off a new Ford Focus. Ford Escape, 25% off, or choose 0% for $72 and $1,000 back. F-150 XLTs up to 25% off, or our exclusive 0 for 72.
So come gobble up the savings at Rusty Eck Ford. If you don't come and see us today, we can't save you any money.
When you think of pure bliss, do you think of the best night's sleep ever? Or is pure bliss the best night's sleep ever, night after night? You can have both. Right now at Derby Mattress through September 17th. You can buy a king-size pure Talalay Bliss latex mattress at a queen-size price. Or take 15% off all other pure Talalay Bliss latex mattresses. Pure Talalay Bliss latex mattresses are the premier latex in the industry and are showcased at Derby Mattress, 105 South Baltimore in Derby.
The Miller Minute with Dennis Miller.
I want to talk about the recent headline I saw that said the Russian probe continues to be the top priority for Democrats and Mueller will be picking up his pace. Well, you can certainly see why. I think to most of us it's obvious that Donald Trump is in fact a Russian operative. I think most of us believe he was sent here in his teenage years to attend a private school in upstate New York, to graduate, to then come into Manhattan, start to work in real estate, become a billionaire, all the while cruising every beautiful woman on the island of Manhattan. And then, of course, 2 years ago, Vladimir Putin flipped the Red Queen on him and activated the ghost in the machine, and he will continue to be president until he's eventually summoned back to the Politburo in the Kremlin. It's obvious. And that's the minute. I'm Dennis Miller. If you or a loved one struggles with leg or foot cramps, you've got to try TheraWorks Relief. This non-greasy foam is proven to relieve muscle cramps fast. And with daily use, TheraWorks Relief can even prevent muscle cramps, so you can get a full night's sleep or do activities you love without worry. TheraWorks Relief only takes minutes to apply, absorbs quickly, and it works. TheraWorks Relief is my choice for preventing and relieving muscle cramps. Get TheraWorks Relief today in the pain relief aisle at Walmart, CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens, or at TheraWorksRelief.com.
Noted author, former chief medical correspondent, and Salonpas user Dr. Bob Arnott.
The human body has billions of pain receptors. Block those receptors with the anesthetics found in Salonpas Lidocaine Plus, and you'll have relief. Salonpas Lidocaine Plus contains 2 anesthetics, including the maximum strength lidocaine available without a prescription. They numb aggravated nerves for effective, lasting relief. For relief, try what I use, Salonpas Lidocaine Plus.
In the silver box with the blue wave.
26 minutes past the hour. Welcome into the Voice of Reason. Your thoughts on all the elections last night. Again, even outside of the state of Kansas, big wins. I mean, we lost 7 governor's races that shifted from Republican to Democrat, but we won some really important swing ones that really mattered. Ohio and Florida, those are huge. That's a big thing. Georgia's still on the fence. They got to do their whole continuation of the process, but they'll probably go red. They're leaning red as of right now. We got to do a second one today, so let's have a little fun. What do you say?
Call now at 721-8255 and guess where your Thanksgiving turkey dropped. Right here on 1480 KQAM.
Yeah, that's right. We do this every single day. We didn't do one yesterday, so we'll do 2 of them today. But here's how it works. KQAM, along with Yoder Meats, 3 locations in Wichita, 1 in Yoder, yodermeatsks.com. You get yourself a Thanksgiving turkey. We give you 3 locations. You decide which one it's going to be. If you win, you get the Thanksgiving turkey. If you lose, then you know what? We'll go to the next caller and we'll try it all over again. We want to thank all of our sponsors partnering up with us on this promotion. We love doing it each and every day. We'll be doing it for the next 2 weeks, by the way, so you have plenty of time to do so. We're going to give away a lot of turkeys because Yoder Meats is just awesome like that, and all of our sponsors. So let's go to the phones, 316-721-8255. Can you guess where the turkey's going to drop on this one? Line number 1, good morning. What's your name?
It's Mike.
Mike, how are you, sir?
Good. How about yourself?
Hey, we're living the dream, my friend. All right, here's the 3 options. You get to choose one, and if you win, you get the Thanksgiving turkey. If you lose, then we go to the next caller. But will it land this time on Joaquin Family and Cosmetic Dentistry, Heartland Avionics, or AutoSmart?
Let's go with Heartland Avionics.
Heartland Avionics. Out of the 3 options, where's my helicopter? Flying high above. Can we see something falling out of that? Not quite sure what it could possibly be. Is it going to happen on Heartland Avionics? Ooh, right off the bat, baby. There it is, Mike. I love it. Congratulations, my friend. You won yourself a Thanksgiving turkey, brought to you by Heartland Avionics, JD Aviation, along with Yoder Meats and YoderMeatsKS.com, along with KQAM Radio. Stay on the line. We'll get your information here in just a second. But congratulations to you on winning a Thanksgiving turkey. Rolling right along. We'll do another one tomorrow. Don't worry if you didn't get in or you didn't win. Try again tomorrow. Again, we're going to do this for the next 2 weeks. It's going to be awesome. We love doing this promotion each and every day. But you yourself won with Heartland Avionics and JD Aviation, Yoder Meats, and KQAM Radio right here for your Thanksgiving turkey. Again, another one coming up tomorrow on that one. So congratulations, Mike. We'll get your information. Hang tight here for just a minute until we go into the break. We'll take a bottom of the hour break. When we come back, we have a guest in studio that I want to get to that's really exciting. I have to get your thoughts on the election. Plus, there is some news that I don't know if I should say or not on the air, but I heard it last night. Now, usually I'm not one of those to where I hear something I just kind of spill the beans sort of thing, but it really upset me. And as we're realizing elections are not a game, realizing that elections are not just for fun, that they actually matter and ideas actually matter, something really struck me. So I'm going to blow the lid off something that's probably not supposed to be told, or many people may have an idea but don't know. But we're going to talk about it in the next half hour. And if they don't like the fact that I mentioned it, oh well. That's what we do. Bottom of the hour news coming up. Stay here. This is The Voice of Reason. Your phone calls when we come back.
The latest news from the Big Talker, KQAM. Special report, midterm elections. The GOP retains control of the Senate, but a different story in the House where Democrats gain control. White House counselor Kellyanne Conway says not a problem for President Trump.
This president is the consummate deal maker. He's a negotiator. He's willing to work with Democrats. He just passed historic opioid legislation with every single Democrat voting for it in the House and the Senate.
Democratic National Committee Chairman Tom Perez on his party's first order of business.
We're going to fight for the issues that people care about. We won the House. And we won all these governorships. And again, it's been, I think, 25 years since one side won 7 governorships in one race.
In Georgia's hotly contested governor's race, Democrat Stacey Abrams and Republican Brian Kemp are awaiting the final accounting of absentee and provisional ballots. Kemp is expressing confidence in an eventual victory. The Abrams campaign has not conceded. I'm John Trout.
You don't have to sacrifice style to have a floor that's 100% waterproof for life. Because the Home Depot has Pergo Outlast Plus laminate starting at just $279 a square foot. With 22 colors, including on-trend grays, Pergo Outlast Plus can fit any style, in any room, beautifully, and resist water. Get Pergo Outlast Plus starting at just $279 a square foot at the #1 Pergo waterproof laminate flooring retailer, the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only. See warranty for details.
Attention all authors. Page Publishing is looking for authors. Have you written a book and want to get it published? Page Publishing will get your book into bookstores and for sale online at Amazon, Apple iTunes, and other outlets. They handle all aspects of the publishing process for you. Printing, cover art, publicity, copyright, and editing. Call 800-501-3689 now for your free author submission kit. That's 800-501-3689 for your free author submission kit. Again, 800-501-3689.
Kansas Mid-America Network News. Good Wednesday. A riot reported at the Larned Correctional Facility last night. Several law enforcement agencies responded, including the Kansas Highway Patrol. KSN-TV reports that spokesman for the Kansas Department of Corrections, Samir Arif, said there were a few separate fights that resulted in broken windows and property damage. One inmate was treated off-site for non-life-threatening injuries. The KDOC said no staff were injured in the incident. More shakeup in the Ness County Sheriff's Office following Sheriff Brian Whipple's guilty plea for a federal firearms charge. Ness County reports the resignations of the county's undersheriff, 3 deputies, and 1 emergency dispatcher. Ness County Clerk Renee Kerr has assumed the sheriff's duties on a temporary basis. Kerr appointed Republican nominee for Sheriff Brandon Mitchell as her undersheriff and hopes to have the office nearly fully staffed again within about a week's time. Kansas News on the Mid-America Network. I'm Rick Everett. Fall has a certain feel to it, like no other. And if you're the type of person that likes to get things done outside, there's nothing like the feel of steel in your grip to get the job done. Pride Ag Ace Hardware of Mays has perhaps the best selection of steel power equipment in western Wichita, maybe south central Kansas. Check out the steel products that have earned the most praise from owners like you at Pride Ag Ace Hardware of Mays, 5204 North Mays Road, where we take pride in serving you.
Hi, this is Phil Martinez at Phil's Coins. At the shop, we talk all the time about honesty and integrity. And in our shop, we've decided that honesty means nothing without integrity. So what I would tell you is that if you didn't bring your coins to Phil's Coins, honestly, you didn't get enough money for what you have. Come see us at Phil's Coins, 9344 West Central, or online at philscoins.com.
Guns, guns, guns. It's gun show time. Don't miss the big gun and knife show and sale Saturday and Sunday, November 10th and 11th at Wichita Century 2 Expo Hall. Buy, sell, trade thousands of new and used rifles, shotguns, handguns, knives, wholesale ammunition, holsters, reloading supplies, and so much more. Bring in your old gun collections. Buyers on hand paying up to $10,000 for rare collections. Don't miss the big gun and knife show at Century 2 in Wichita. Saturday, November 10th, 9 to 5. Sunday, November 11th, 9 to 3.
Here's your latest forecast on the Big Talker KQAM. For this morning, a chance of sprinkles, partly sunny, a high near 50. For tonight, a chance of rain after midnight, mixing with snow early tomorrow morning, mostly cloudy and 37. Chance of rain and snow tomorrow, changing to rain, then back to snow tomorrow night. I'm Amp Harrell, and that's your latest forecast on Wichita's big station, the Big Talker, AM 1480 and 102.5 FM KQAM.
At 8:35, it's currently 44 degrees.
When it takes two to read the news,
I'm trying to warn everybody and nobody takes me serial.
You're in the wrong place. This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier on the Big Talker, 1480 AM and 102.5 FM, KQAM.
Hey, welcome into it. Wrapping up the program today on a Wednesday post-election day. Good news, bad news, interesting stuff all across the board. And you know what? We do what we can each and every day. Welcome in. 316-721-8255. 316-721-TALK. This portion of The Voice of Reason brought to you by Lamar's Donuts and Coffee Shop. Be a start today on your way to work. Pick up a dozen donuts. Take to your co-workers, your friends. Great way to start each and every single morning. 3 locations here in the area just south of Rock and K96. One at Tyler and Mays and one on Harry on east side of Hillside. Go check them out. Try them. You'll definitely like them. Lamar's Donuts and Coffee Shop, also online at lamars.com. We got to bring him in. He swung by the studio, and we got to say hi to him because he is a frequent caller, and we love having him here. Also a great sponsor with the show with the Inman Harvest Cafe up in Inman. But listener Nick Reinecker. Nick, how are you, sir?
Good morning, Andy. How are you doing today?
Doing good. Appreciate you swinging all the way down here. It's a nice little trip to Wichita today.
Absolutely. Well, I couldn't let this opportunity go to pass, so I appreciate you letting me come and say hi.
Yeah, I figured you'd sit in for a little bit with us here. Your thoughts on the election last night? Some good news, bad news, but what's your takeaway from this?
Well, I got to honestly say that although I'm disappointed, I keep it positive and optimistic and just go back to God and say that it's in his hands. And just like 1 Timothy 2, 1 through 2 says, I urge, first of all, that requests, prayers, intercession, and thanksgiving be made for everyone, for kings and all those in authority, that we may live peaceably and quiet lives in all godliness and holiness. So we're going to pray for Laura Kelly. We're going to pray for all the leaders that we got in, and we're going to keep on track with the conservative movement that we have. Now, we as conservatives are not out to please moderates, as some people think it should be. We're out to support our platform and our platform basics. So, we got some issues to deal with, and we're going to have a kind of an uphill battle. But I think as we go along here, we can still work on that unity and fighting for the good fight in the conservative realm.
I think you just did something on this show that's never been done before.
Sir.
You beat Helen at doing a scripture on the show.
Well, I've been waiting for her all morning, so I'm like, where's she at?
You beat her to it this morning. No, you're absolutely right. Look, Laura Kelly obviously is not the politics that we agree with, that we like in any way, shape, or form. With the increase in Republican seats and conservatives in our legislature, then we have an opportunity to block it. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to have really 2 sessions, possibly more, but at least 2, especially this one, with government gridlock. Now, government gridlock can be a good thing, but at the same time, it can be a negative thing when things really need to get done. But she's going to be trying to increase taxes, increase spending, increase investment in education. Well, we're going to try and keep her at bay and actually keep commonsensical things going on for some degree. So it's going to be a really interesting kind of legislature. We're not necessarily going to advance on anything much, but I don't know how much we're going to actually get rid of either. So we're just going to have to hang tight and fight every day that we can.
It's a good wish-wash there. You know, there's some issues that we can absolutely work on that go with our conservative principles and hopefully keep the executive branch accountable. But we're also probably going to have to make some unwanted compromise, if you will, in other areas. So that'll be some hard road to go. But we got that positive feel, and keep it going.
Mm-hmm. Here's the question, and I know you brought it up quite a bit, and we love going back and forth and debating on this one. But did the marijuana issue have anything to do with the governor's race last night, or any of the races in the state of Kansas? Did that have an influence one way or the other?
I want to say it had some influence. If we say that we are conservatives, why? You know, my question is, why is cannabis freedom not a conservative issue, whether it be for food, fuel, fiber, or therapeutic use, or anything else? Why is that not something that we are fighting for? But I think the more important question is, I guess we can analyze the impact that it had on the election, and we can go back and forth on that. But moving forward, what are we going to do with this issue, and are we going to let the Democrats control it? I did notice the last debate that Ron Estes had. There was just a tiny bit of softening when it came to the medical value of cannabis. And then I do see that the Attorney General margin should have been a lot higher. And I don't think in that race there was any Brownback type thing. You know, couldn't blame Derek Schmidt for tax policy or anything. So I think that there was some margin there that could have been gained through that issue. But I want to say, and I hesitate, but I want to say I'm a little miffed at President Trump for the fact that he let this be an issue in the midterms. If he was true to his campaign promise, which he talked about allowing the states to do what they need to do, then he could have eliminated this issue from the conversation, and we could have focused on the tax policy. We could have focused on all the things that we know COBOC stands for, instead of putting this emotional issue in there and having it, kind of be one of the deciding factors.
I don't know if it would do anything on the marijuana side of it or not, but there is a rumor now, or at least a push, that, Secretary of State Chris Kobach no longer, obviously in the politics here in Kansas with the loss of the governorship last night. I see him moving on, doing great things in the Trump administration. What do you think, U.S. Attorney General Kobach?
I would support that. I think that would be great.
I mean, hey, you know what? But Jeff Sessions not necessarily going up to the par of the U.S. Attorney General as Donald Trump had thought. So, you know what? U.S. Attorney General Kobach, that might be coming soon. Let's get some phone calls. Nick's hanging out in studio here with us for the last little bit of the show. But your phone calls as well, 316-721-8255. Let's go to line number 1. Good morning. What's your name?
My name's Eric.
Hey, good morning, Eric. How are you, sir?
Oh, yeah, I'm doing good. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. It's kind of a bummer. I guess the thing that really got me in this campaign was when I listened to, former Republicans, Mike Hagan, when he starts campaigning for Laura, and in the very end he says, and she's going to balance the budget without raising taxes. I mean, my head starts spinning, and I want to puke pea soup. You know what I mean?
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
How could he do that? How could he, with a straight face, do that to us?
Here's the big question. And again, the lies. This is why I don't get. Even if people didn't like Chris Kobach, just the lies. Do you honestly believe a liar like Laura Kelly, where she says she wants to lower sales tax on food, which the majority of sales tax goes towards education? She wants to lower property tax and says that it was the fault of Brownback, which it's not. It was the fault of them getting upset with Brownback because he cut revenues for the state. But then she says she wants to lower property tax. Both of those go to education. Then she wants to reinvest in education tenfold, and she wants to expand Medicaid in the state of Kansas, while at the same time cutting tax burdens and balancing the budget. You can't have 5 different ways at the same time and expect it to work out. It doesn't work that way.
I know. Math is a weird thing, isn't it? I tell you what.
Math and numbers are tricky things. I don't get it. I really don't. But you know what? Like I said, do you think that we still have some optimism in the legislature?
Well, I do. I think it's a time to be refocused, right? I think we kind of lost a little bit of what we were trying to do, and we got in the weeds there. But I think it's time to get focused again and start moving along.
Your thoughts, an electoral college process in the state of Kansas for the governor's races, the fact that 9 counties decided our governor in the entire state?
I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I had never thought of that until today. So that's definitely something it's worth checking out.
Absolutely. We're checking out. Hey, I love it. Appreciate the call very much, my friend. 316-721-8255, line number 2. Good morning. What's your name?
It's Wallace.
Wallace, what's going on, sir?
Well, I just been perusing and the channels and stuff, and you know what I don't see this morning?
Wait a second. Wait. Perusing radio channels and not listening to me, or perusing TV channels?
No, TV channels.
Okay.
TV
all
channels.
right. If you're turning my show off here, buddy,
no, you're not a turn off. You're a turn on, man. Okay, that makes you feel good.
Hey, there we go.
There you go. So you know what I don't see? I don't see Republicans and conservatives, crying and complaining, and I don't see us out here committing random acts of violence and pumping our fists in the air. What I see is a Republican Party that historically has outperformed both Clinton and Obama in the midterms. I see that Democrats were aided in the fact that 28 Republicans retired and left seats vacant. I got to think that it would be a dead heat or a lot smaller pickup had all those Republicans not retired. A little sad about Kelly getting in, but we've got a legislature that can hopefully keep her in check.
Exactly. No, you bring up some really good points, and I'm glad you mentioned this. Number one, we lost the House Representatives, kind of a blow to the Trump administration, as they're going to open up investigations. They're going to try the impeachment process. They're going to do whatever they want to do. We're going to have a hard time passing tax cuts, hard time passing immigration reform. It's going to be very difficult, but we're not out there saying the only way we're going to have civility is if we beat all these Democrats and go out and shun them. We're saying, okay, how do we strategize to politically go after them again? Because that's what we do as Republicans. We're not whiners. We're not complainers. We're figuring out how to do something about it because there's still hope and we still have an opportunity. Number 2, you mentioned it perfectly, is that with the Barack Obama and with Hillary Clinton, the midterms, they may have won a few seats, but it was not the blue wave in any way, shape, or form. It was maybe a ripple. And again, the Democrats who thought that the big party and that the country just loves Democrats and progressives, that didn't happen last night. And again, they came out on the defeated side.
Look, the Republicans essentially handed the rope over to the Democrats and said, try not to hang yourself. And what I mean by this is the Democrats in Washington, Nancy Pelosi, Mad Maxine Waters, James Clyburn, all these people have run on impeach 45. What are their supporters going to do when they don't impeach 45? I'll say the 2020, if they try to impeach, I think they're going to turn off a lot of people. If they don't impeach, they're going to turn off a lot of their own people. They're going to disenfranchise their own base.
They're in a lose-lose situation. But look, here's the thing. I think that they just locked in the victory for Donald Trump in 2020. And here's why, is that Donald Trump is not going to be able to get with both chambers of the majority as we had before, even though it was slim and we barely got anything done. We got a few things done, but very little. That it's going to be even less that we're going to get done over the next 2 years. The Donald Trump agenda, if the Republicans play it right, are going to say, look, we're trying to do this. We need the majority in the House again. They're up for election in 2020 the same time Trump is. And guess what? We come in, we get a majority of Republicans again, we get a President Trump re-election, and then we have 2 years where we can actually work to promote the agenda. But with the gridlock and with the frustration from Trump, there's going to be very little success. And I think that we just locked in 4 more years for him.
And here's what I will also predict in the next, before the gavels turn over in January, you're going to see a whole bunch of information Trump is going to declassify. He is now going to do a document dump because he is not going to let this stuff. He is not going to let this stuff get shoved back into the back of the room by Democrats. It's going to come out, and we're going to get all kinds of new tasty morsels between now and when the Democrats take over. So
I like that. Wallace, I appreciate that very much, my friend. That's really great points. We have optimism. Again, we're not complaining or whining. We're figuring out what to do now with the new strategy and the new table that's set, the new chessboard that's set for us. How do we end up moving our team? We had a listener from Facebook, Brian, saying before you sign off, make sure to mention the legislature again and where we came from. Look, again, we may have lost the governorship, but we won hugely in our state legislature. And that's something we should be very proud of. Even here in South Central Kansas, we won major. We switched just in the Sedgwick County and South Central, if I can speak today, South Central Kansas area, we flipped at least 3 seats from blue to red. District number 72, Stephen Kelly, beat Democrat incumbent Tim Hodge by a 1% majority, which means your vote actually mattered. Every vote counts, 51 to 50. That's a huge win right there. We had, let's see here, we had Cheryl Helmer. If I can find hers, District number 79. A major one. Ed Trimmer's been one that the Republicans have tried to get out for a while. District number 79, Cheryl Helmer over Ed Trimmer, 51 to 49. A 2% margin and about 115 votes difference. That's huge. Ron Howard, District number 98, ended up winning 52 to 48 over Democrat Steve Crum. Those are 3 seats that were majorly Democrat, majorly progressive, that we just won to the Republican side right here in our area. Now lump that together with the 8 seats that we won in the primaries that went from moderate Republican to solid conservative. We won. I was talking to State Senator Ty Masterson last night at the election party, and he had mentioned they just literally gained about 10 seats for the next session in the Truth Caucus. 10 seats. That's huge. Now, is it enough to override a governor's veto from Governor Laura Kelly? I don't know. We're going to have to look at that. But we won big. We should be very proud of what we did in our legislature last night. We may have lost the governor's race, and we lost it here in Sedgwick County that was the swing county for the race. But other than that, we won everything else that we needed to. Every other state seat, Secretary of State, Insurance Commissioner, Attorney General, all of it, State Treasurer, Jake Turner, all of them won, all Republicans. The only one that we lost was the governorship. You know what? I can deal with that. It's not ideal, but we can still come back from that. What do you think, Nick?
Yes, sir. And I think that moving forward, like I said, it's important to understand that this is a spiritual battle. So we obviously pray for everybody, but stay engaged. Stay engaged. And we can't back down now. This is about also recruiting. I think the perception of the Republican Party is a bunch of old fuddy-duddies. I don't know. And so we need to not go with the Pinocchio-style free-for-all, trying to turn you into donkeys type of thing, but staying with the conservative values, but getting the young people excited about the Republican Party and understanding that what we're all about. And I think that will also help us to move forward as well.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because there's an announcement that's going to be made probably today. I'll announce it officially on the show tomorrow, but some things with the young generation here locally for the Republicans that I think is going to be pretty exciting. So we're working on that. More information to come there. Let's take a break, Nick. It's great to have you swing in studio, man. It's
I appreciate it, Andy, as always. God bless you.
Good times. Always fun time. Let's take a break. 9 minutes at the top of the hour. When we come back, other news that I'll tease for today that we'll talk about more in depth tomorrow when it comes to our county commission race and more. Your thoughts, if you want to try and squeeze in before the end of the program as well, on post-election Wednesday right here on The Voice of Reason.
This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier. Opening markets on KQAM. Brought to you by Schmidt & Sons of Mount Hope and Winfield.
Market information from Mid-America Ag Network. We're starting the day lower in the grains, but higher in the livestock. Let's check things out. Brady Charles at Schwederman Incorporated has all the information. Good morning, Brady.
Good morning. Well, yeah, a little bit of weakness in the grain markets this morning and some strength in the livestock. December live cattle are up 15 at 115.57. February's up a dime at 120.50. April just ticked back to steady at 121.92. November feeders are up a nickel at 150.02. January is now in the red, down 2 cents at 146.57. March is down 15 at 145.25. December lean hogs are up 25 at 54.35. In the grain markets, December Kansas City wheat's down 3.5 at 504.5. March is down 4 at 527.25. July's down 4 at 548.25. December Chicago's down a penny and a half at 510.5. July's down 2 1/4 at 544. December spring wheat's down a penny and a quarter at 587.25. In the corn market, Deese is down a penny at 372 1/4. March is down 1.5 at 383 3/4. July is down 1.5 at 397 1/4. November beans are down 3 1/4 at 868 3/4. January is down 3 at 881. March is down 3 at 893 1/2. And the Dow Jones is currently up 219 points at 25,853. This has been Brady Charles from Sweeterman Incorporated. For questions on these markets, any other markets, and all your marketing needs, please give us a call at 800-272-9131 or visit us online at upthelimit.com.
Are you ready to maximize your uptime in the field and save 15% while doing it? This is Leroy the Tractor Man from Schmidt & Sons, offering big savings and special discounts until December 31st on all AGCO PM360 maintenance plans. Bring your equipment into Schmidt & Sons for an AGCO PM360 inspection, inspected by our factory-trained certified technicians, and you will receive peace of mind knowing your equipment will operate at peak performance, minimizing costly repairs, increasing uptime, and improving your trade-in value. Plus, repairs done in our service department entitle you to 1-year warranty on parts and 6 months warranty on labor. Right now, the deal is even sweeter because with your inspection, not only can you receive up to 15% off on AGCO parts, with approved credit, you can receive 0% interest and no payments for 180 days on repairs of $1,000 or more. Give us a call at either the Mount Hope or Winfield location to sign up for the AGCO PM360 maintenance inspection and get the peace of mind you need and deserve all season long. Or find us on the web at schminink.com.
And one thing you don't want associated with your harvest this year is downtime. Did you know MJ's Truck Repair at exit 46 off I-135 can take care of all harvest-related equipment, combines, tractors, grain carts, and all machinery associated with your successful harvest this year. MJ's Truck Repair of Moundridge also has on-the-farm emergency service. Roll your harvest worry-free with MJ's Truck Repair of Moundridge, Kansas, 800-835-0069.
5 minutes to the top of the hour, wrapping up the program today. Again, not the best that we wanted around, but you know what? We still did well, and we can move forward with it. We can do it. We can do it. Don't lose the engagement. Don't lose the energy, and we're going to hold them accountable. By the way, from now until the end of the year, we're going to be talking to as many legislators as we can, lighting the fire under them, making sure that they know what they're getting into and how we counter the Laura Kelly governor's administration. We're going to be doing that because it's important, and no one else is going to do it. So we might as well do it here on the show. What do you think? Let's sneak in a phone call or two before we wrap up the program here. Line number 1. Good morning. What's your name?
Hi, Andy. This is Helen.
Helen, how are you?
I'm doing just great in spite of what's happened. But, the Lord said in Isaiah chapter 5, verse 8, it says, "Woe unto them that join house to house," or build big cities and stuff like that. Well, it's the big cities that caused us to lose this election for Chris Kobach. But he foretold us in St. Luke chapter 17 and verse 28 through 32. He says that likewise also as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they did drink, they bought, they sold, they planted, and they builded. All of this is perversion that they did. And the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven, from God, and destroyed them all. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man, the true Jesus Christ, is revealed, when he comes back. And he says in 32, remember Lot's wife. Well, Laura Kelly is just like a Lot's wife. And how do we get to that point? To have a Sodom and Gomorrah, you have to have leadership that's wicked and perverted.
Well, that is true. Here's my take on it. Helen, I want to seek another phone call here, so I appreciate it. Here's my take, is that everything happens for a reason, and you know what? We may not have liked the outcome, but we did get more in the legislature, and even though that we have free will to do ridiculous, stupid things at times, things happen for a reason, and if it is foretold and it's already laid out on what's going to happen, he already knows, so you know what? We're going to fight the way we can, and we still have an opportunity. It's not like all the doors are closed, so we're going to continue on the way we can, and that's it. It happened for a reason, and you know what? Maybe Chris Kobach's got a better, more important role that he needs to play to advance conservatism, which is going to be, who knows, maybe Attorney General. Maybe he's going to go to the Trump administration. There's going to be another role for Chris Kobach because he is a solid conservative. He's a great fighter for individual liberty, and he's one that's going to go very far and do something else. So he's going to be better off in a different position because that's the way apparently it's just supposed to be. So that's the way it is, and I'm going to roll with that one. We have opportunity as long as we stay engaged. We do have that free will to keep fighting the good fight, and we're going to do that each and every day, which is why we join this program every single morning. We love it. We appreciate it very much. Thank you all for tuning in. Didn't get to all the calls, but we'll get to you tomorrow. Stay tuned in. We got some more turkey drops. We have some big news from the county commission we'll talk about. We got our new plan. How do we prepare for the legislative session? That's going to be the focus right here on the show. This is your show. It's time to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason. This is The Voice Reason. Everybody have a wonderful Wednesday.
And one thing you don't want associated with your harvest this year is downtime. Did you know MJ's Truck Repair at exit 46 off I-135 can take care of all harvest-related equipment, combines, tractors, grain carts, and all machinery associated with your successful harvest this year. MJ's Truck Repair of Moundridge also has on-the-farm emergency service. Roll your harvest worry-free with MJ's Truck Repair of Moundridge, Kansas, 800-835-0069.
At Starseed, we're dedicated to providing our customers premium quality products and the sudden service they deserve. We've offered a diverse lineup of high-yielding seed for decades. We pride ourselves on flexibility, promptness, and superior products. Starseed is the one stop for all of your seed needs. Don't forget to ask about our custom blend packages. Call Starseed today at 800-782-7311 or visit our website at gostarseed.com.
Broadcasting from the Rusty Eck Ford Studios. Rusty Eck Ford, family-owned, customer-friendly. This is the Big Talker, 102.5 FM and 1480 AM, KQAM, Wichita Proud. It's time for your latest news from the KQAM News Center. Brought to you by MJ's Truck Repair of Moundridge, Kansas. Sales and service